fandom, and it's actually ironic because Delta's scaling is actually pretty straightforward. Up first, we have Delta, the cyborg clone of Amato's daughter, Akibi. She was formidable enough of an opponent that she fought against six-pass Naruto in his chakra mode while Naruto was holding back, trying to capture her alive. We see that her body was able to withstand this lava release Rasen Shuriken, which used those leg extensions of hers, and she put up a valiant fight. Even while suppressed six-pass stage of Naruto is still stronger than 99.9999995% of the entire planet. So, something that a lot of people don't give Naruto credit for. During the fight, she was able to push Naruto to the point of exerting so much chakra and effort that the guy was panting in exhaustion, and even after he falls over after defeating her, he declares that yes, he was holding back while fighting against her. He also says in the same sentence he's not confident, as if defeating her would have been easier if he had been fighting with killing intent, which is a pretty huge statement to make, and that's a strong implication that Delta is a lot stronger than the fandom gives her credit for. After she was further modified by Amato, she's shown that she's able to produce enough actual power to stun Code with a direct hit. Though it is worth noting, this is not Code who has his limiters removed and has that emo white hair appearance, and this is also Code who's not using his chroma steel, so that was only base Code. And given that Boruto's anime and manga strongly implies that Code was stronger than Zoro and Delta, this shows that there's a really big increase to Delta's body in the time since Amato made those additional modifications to her. Back when he was telling Sumire that he was making somebody that would be a really good, strong ally to Konoha. But that's going more so into the hypotheticals, trying to see exactly how far Amato would have taken her. We'll just focus on what we've actually seen. Though you can say for argument's sake that Amato would have upgraded Delta's body.
Hostile UAV in the area. Enemy over 1 kilo inbound. Preparing next. Stand by.
I don't.
Target area active. Hold to the hard point.
that's what Naruto's manga and so forth. Where the power of a Dokkan is. So the raw power was eternally emo Sasuke crack a smile when you saw power up for the moment Sasuke said, that's the one I put my baby in. And we also have the fourth Naruto database statement that says if you thought to put EMS Sasuke in 1.5 Naruto. When the fourth database made the official source material written by the Sasuke Naruto 4 Naruto 44-72. The fourth source says, bro, the database used hyperbole. This isn't a hyperbole statement, and the wording of the database makes it clear that this is not some wonky translations that people seem to nitpick, like the database says tomorrow is universal, and it says it's insequence for the planet, because we still have people to this day who do not realize Japanese to English does not translate word for word, and it's concept heavy, and the words universal and planet aren't literal, and they're only in reference to all things made in nature. Are there times where the database source, yes, not in those instances. Now, this initial release of the Byakuya Steel having Sakura say writing in the data on the same level as Naruto and Sasuke deal, because that in itself will go directly to Tsunade, because that version of Naruto, that version of Sasuke is significantly stronger than Tsunade, which also means, by extension, that Sakura is stronger than the Raikage who fought against Madara, because as Madara tells us, Tsunade with the Byakuya Steel is the strongest of the Raikage despite being this slow. However, as we go over, Sakura will continue to get bumped in power. As the story progresses, we have of Sakura that is just from the Byakuya Steel after she stabilized and the missile and in power. With Sakura, between the events of Sasuke, releasing the Byakuya Steel all the way until the events of Naruto Boy and 71 was defeated. Sakura gets several insane missions. Let's remember that chakra is used for more than just juice, or in the case of Sakura performing medical chakra is also used for assuming they have the leisure of performing ninjas inside the chakra over to amplify that. You know, chakra doesn't necessarily mean power level. This is Dragon Ball. I will remind you, go back to Naruto Ball 1 when Sasuke and Naruto sent Kage out of Madara Uchiha's body. They directly measure her power level directly by her chakra level. She hasn't performed any ninjutsu, she hasn't thrown a punch or anything. They just sense her chakra and they immediately say she's stronger than Madara. This is not the first instance where chakra being measured has been used to directly scale somebody in proportion to the overall power. Now, we also have a classic example of chakra being used to amp up physical stats, where if you go back to the arm wrestling episode where you had Tsunade wrestling with the Raikage, she explains that she uses additional chakra to boost her physical strength, whereas Raikage uses chakra to boost her speed. Kakashi in the manga uses quite a bit of his own chakra to boost up his stamina so he can continue to use the Sharingan when he removes his headband, because not being Uchiha, he's not able to cut it off, and he's not able to handle the strain from using the Sharingan because he doesn't have a body that can naturally use it. Hence, he has to use chakra to substitute for his stamina. All
for this video, I'm using the Holger 556. I didn't know how to do this challenge before, so that's why I'm going to help you guys, because I'm sure many of you are in the same exact boat. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how to do it in one single game. Alright, let's get into it. So based on my research, guys, and what I've tried out, the shotgun underbarrel, the Corvus Master Key, works very well. Also, you could use a grenade launcher or a flamethrower based on what you're using. Essentially, you want to use a unique underbarrel that gives you like some sort of unique attachment. Now I'm not going to run through the whole class because it's hardcore, it doesn't really matter what you put on it, but if you do care about my class setup, I will put that in the description below. Now that we have the class setup, everyone, let's actually queue up some hardcore meat 24/7. Yes, it is going to be hardcore. If you're new to this channel, we love playing hardcore. It makes these challenges so much easier to do. So now we're actually on hardcore hardpoint on meat 24/7. If you regularly shoot, that's what it looks like. Down on D-pad is tac stance. Left on D-pad is the shotgun, and it actually has 4 shotgun shells. Alright, so now I'm actually going to show you gameplay of what it looks like. So notice how like I'm playing slower. You don't need to do anything crazy. I definitely missed there by a good amount, and I died because of it. Also, notice you're not going to be perfect every time, okay? But when you spawn in, look at me, when you spawn in, you have to hit left on D-pad because it resets every time, okay? So hit left on D-pad when you spawn in so you don't forget and you just start shooting people, alright? So, there we go, so that's...
Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Shinchi42, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the Holger 556 for you guys to complete the Forge Camo Challenge. So I finished this before the Season 1 update, and all I really did was put a attachment for the under barrel and making sure that it is not a drill charge, meaning non-explosive, and it worked for me. You can see the loadout that I used for this one. But apparently as of today, there's been some issues that people aren't able to finish it by using the attachment that I have done. Now there was some comments that was shared and that the player have used a Corvus Master Key by basically eliminating the players here using the shotguns. As you can see, I don't have this available right now for me, but I already have this as a forge because before the update it worked, so it could be potentially be bugged and therefore many players couldn't finish it. Now if you guys eventually finish the Forge Challenge here for the Holger 556 with this video, hopefully you guys can drop a like, and also don't forget to subscribe with notification on. I'm here to help you guys out to succeed, and also we'll do some game beyond hardcore of my class setup. I will put that in the description below. Next. What's up everyone? If you're trying to complete your challenge for your Holger 556, I've seen a lot of comments and I've made multiple videos. At first I was figuring out if it was really bugged, but I think the issue is that many players are not doing the task that is needed. So you gotta make sure first that all your basic camos are done and you got the gilded completed, and you don't have that locked onto the gilded anymore. After that, I believe you need 6 assault rifle that is MW3 labeled to make sure that you have unlocked the gilded as well. So as you can see, when we look into the list of ARs in here, these are the MW3 guns, and you gotta make sure that 6 of them in total have the gilded unlocked before you can complete your Forge Challenge. So when I did my Holger 556 and other guns in here, I made sure that all of my AR was done with the gilded already. Then I proceeded to complete the task for the Forge. And this is the way that you do your Forge Challenge. Now I did this just by using a Kimura grip. Now if issues persist, some other players have used the Corvus Master Key, which is a shotgun. You'll have to eliminate players using the shotgun if you use this method. The other players also have used the Jack Purifier. It's a flamethrower. You'll be using the flamethrower to eliminate the players. So the key thing in here is you gotta make sure that all the other 6 ARs are done with the gilded. So you gotta make your way to the finishing of the gilded first, and then once you finish all guns in gilded, then you move to working the challenge for the Forge. You gotta pay attention in the checkbox in here as well. As you can see, this one, it is all locked and I can't do them yet unless I complete my Forge task.
Distorting to a seal and beginning to flow outward is a bigger deal than a lot of people give credit for. This same Sakura is shown using Katsuyu to heal the Shinobi Alliance, and when she's using the power, Katsuyu is directly linked to the chakra level for the person who summons her. She's early on being compared to Tsunade in her skill level, and this is massive Sakura power in battles in the manga prior to this. But Ben was also healing Shinobi non-stop throughout the first day of the Ninja War night, and part of the second day of the Ninja War before the battlefield right before Sasuke arrived. So Sakura was not only in the Ninja Chakra Takashi's unit for the first part of the Ninja War. He didn't switch over to Suzune's unit until night. However, Sakura gets even stronger following this moment because we learned that when she said that her Byakugo seal was completed, that was basically like Eureka from the Dragon Ball manga saying that this form was the final form, and then we learned that there's a 100% version of the same final form that brings the power of our Goku than he was before. So it's the same thing with Sakura. She has the Byakugo seal form on her head, she has some of the chakra line shown, but we also see that there's another gear and power that Sakura has available to her. So at this point, we might do that this is my final form round for Sakura. We see further in Naruto Volume 71 the major revelation that the manga makes in the story that Oda states that in order to enter into Kaguya's time-space dimension requires the Sakura, something that Sasuke from Naruto was guidance about how it is Naruto takes that stage from chakra flows that also has chakra. Naruto's using 2 shadow clones at this point in order to show Naruto that despite his chakra only being split 3 different ways between his 2 shadow clones and his main body, that the shadow clone he's speaking to does not have enough chakra to support us with his mission, but when Sakura offers Daichi to fully unleash Byakugo seal over the requirement, which is insane when you think about how much chakra 1/3 of 6-fast Naruto actually is. This Sakura is crap. All the positions Naruto are drastically ramping up the power compared to overnight. Sure, you can call it that. This Sakura was not only able to break up Kaguya's form, but also hit her so far to the force of the attack break her form in half in the manga, and is strong enough to cause the bruise is going to keep on the side just to stop over the attack. This is even more impressive when you consider that the same Kaguya is literally faced by Zetsu right before this. Now, powered up, that is exponentially stronger than she was before. With Kaguya, prior to the statement being made, being durable enough that Naruto was now finished chakra among 8 shadow clones and himself in order to control that massive rocket sword power and attack. And all the Kekkei 9 powers that scratches, and despite what some people will tell you, Drake Watson shows like that does and because of all the stuff that's put between 8 telephones and 3 bodies, that motherfucker was the statement of her having more chakra than 1/3 of Naruto. Yet Sakura is able to snap the warrant and she hurt Kaguya down to her soul. This was not an off-guard speaking. Literally, Kaguya had an exclamation point right above her head, and the Byakugan is activated. So she knew Sakura was coming, and Sakura too large to vertebrae of the Byakugan user. But Sakura's full power hit did that level of damage to Kaguya. Yes, Kaguya's flying with Sakura and definitely not being caught in the protect. But she was fully aware that Sakura was coming from the sky, like Thor from Infinity War, and even if you just hate Sakura, you can't deny this is correct. When you get past the wall, Naruto is not from the official guidebook for Naruto the last and the recent observation that Sakura has made it on the face of Sasuke, but also feeling stronger than her, win the war on the actual war, and say Naruto stayed a 10, and Sakura was not, and Sakura was 6, and those verses in the fourth Ninja War in volume 71 and 72, and let's say they all increased their power level by 3, so 13 for Naruto, 12 for Sasuke, and 9 for Sakura. That's still progressing at the same rate despite the other being stronger. Not a game like the first that Sakura has surpassed her both power and mental condition ability. Sakura now has a knowledge of medical ninjutsu that has surpassed her. Other than the Naruto chapter that we know from the book of the database, Sakura has mastered earth and water release, and sometime after she married Sasuke, and the manga version of the story. By the event of Naruto the Last, the time to the point where she was one of the only people that was going to drink and join the try to eventually right. We also know that Sakura has leveled up his skill as well. Just given that we know Sakura continues training, falling in the war, like the war they eventually reach that. It should also be worth noting that any chakra that is available to her is often used as a stat to power at the expense of the champion of her team, but as we see, she's more than capable of holding her own. Someone that advanced of the manga including a better use of the Shangan Identity, which is ruthless yet massive Orso era Sakura also has a central object in the area to make out positions of enemies However, the problem here is that Sakura is the raw high enough that she's going to be able doing so many different ways because of how powerful the Naruto cast got, and it's worried that it will show children. That's a reference to the form of destructive capabilities where someone like Sakura punches the ground when she gets upset and Naruto guides and power and she shatters the ground in the area, destroys the house, so when she shatters the foundation of the house, that's why you don't see the area of destruction or the background shows and stuff like that. You don't see these giant shockwaves that destroy entire mountains and trees, etc. Power is contained and displayed via attack. So getting back to it, Sakura has that stronger than she was before. That's a lot stronger than she was before. But she isn't on a level where you can oppose Naruto. I just think that the ruler, she doesn't have the speed to keep up with the suppressed fast shot mode. Naruto, the thing was intelligent. Saw a controlled shockwave as a testament to their skill in controlling the output of their damage. And she has Naruto's support for Naruto's air, which is not something that you can make Sakura. The other edge that Delta has over Sakura is that she has those extensions with her legs that are able to pierce Naruto's chakra shroud and increase the rate like crazy, which allows her the opportunity to attack from distance and become a Zoro's Delta destroys Zoro's coat shirt. She's able to fly through the air and shoot off those destructive eye beams from the sky as well, which given Sakura doesn't have any long-range jutsu, the most she's going to be able to do is pick up chunks of the ground and throw it at Delta, or she can summon Katsuyu to shoot off that acid at her, and if she jumps into the air to attack her, those modifications of Delta's body just allow her to fly out the way the moment that Sakura's in the air. Delta back and looks at those destructive eye beams, and Sakura being mid-air, unable to fly, has no way to avoid the attack damage itself. And considering those beams destroy the body on a molecular level, and Sakura's regen repairs themselves, I'm of the belief personally that those beams would prevent herself from being repaired because those beams are just outright destroying themselves. In my opinion, Delta just has good win condition. She's faster than Sakura, she's stronger than Sakura, she can fight from a distance, which Sakura can't do, and Sakura really doesn't have any long-range jutsu to help her if the fight turns into a distance fight. Personally, I think Delta wins this regardless, as if this is a taijutsu fighter, she busts out the Ivy. However, I am curious to know who you guys think will actually win this fight. Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy LxrdPrinceMe, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I found to be rather interesting now that we are 5 chapters in the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, which is, I'm seeing a growing number of fans who have jumped ship in the sense that they are saying that Sarada Uchiha has been wasted as a character because we're 5 chapters in the Boruto 2 Blue Vortex and she hasn't shown off her Mangekyo Sharingan powers, and they say that she's been reduced to being purely shipping bait for Boruto and Sarada's pairing, or she's being used as a red herring for the Boruto Sumire pairing, which is why I kind of want to weigh in on this right now, because being blunt, while I can see some of the reasons for the complaint, in particular when it comes to the shipping side, I strongly disagree with this notion that she's wasted because she hasn't used her Mangekyo Sharingan in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. I actually like the fact that we haven't seen it right now. I've said it a couple times. I think what we're seeing here is what happens when you have people that they're starting their first long-running series, in particular their first long-running monthly manga, and the lack of being able to see through the story like you would if you binge watch a completed series or you binge read a completed series. That's playing a role in some of the stuff we're seeing here. It doesn't bother me personally because I've been reading manga since I was 8 years old, and I'm a little younger than Konohamaru is now. I'm an OG when it comes to manga. Boruto is not my first monthly manga. It's actually one of 6 monthly manga that I currently read. But I say that to say this. It's been 5 chapters since we saw she awakened the Mangekyo Sharingan. People, they're being impatient. I get it, the Mangekyo is a big deal. But with a story, you don't microwave something as big as this reveal like that to just get a cheap pop out of your fans. You let it cook. There are more things that you can do if you want to get a cheap pop out of your fans. As I told you guys, the moment that we got the start of the code arc, I saw right away the pacing was going to slow down. I consistently said early on this was going to be a Search for Tsunade type arc. It's going to be closer to 2 years of slower chapters with a few fights sprinkled in for stuff that when the anime gets it, they'll be done in like 12 to 18 episodes. And when the anime covers, and which lo and behold, the Code Assault arc ended up being covered halfway through in only 6 episodes. But just as that Search for Tsunade arc set the stage for the next 30 volumes of Naruto's manga, making it, in my opinion, the most important arc of Naruto's manga, that Code arc is still continuing to bear fruit today. It's been 5 chapters. 5. When has Sarada ever been in a fight where she needed to use her Mangekyo Sharingan power? Ask yourself that question. She didn't need to use it against those claw grinds. If she needed to use it to take down the things that people like Chocho and Shikadai were slapboxing against, that either means that Chocho and Shikadai level up to a speed where they could make Piccolo from Dragon Ball feel happy at their growth, or Sarada...
What's up everybody, welcome to another video. I finally got all the gold camos for the assault rifles.
If you want to get the SVA 545 gold in Modern Warfare 3 fast, this is what you need to do. To get 25 easy tac stance kills, play in hardcore modes, have your tac stance bound to a specific button, and have tactical stance activation set to tactical stance, and to toggle. Get the crosshair dot like I have to make it a lot easier for aiming inside of hardcore mode. With
going on, guys? It's Jeff. We're back here on some more Modern Warfare 3. Played for quite a few hours last night, got to level 55, ended up completing all of the gold ARs in the game, and then started the battle rifles and pistols and stuff. I got a couple of the pistols gold as well. I don't know how many gold weapons I got yesterday. I think it was like 5 or 6 of them. But today I got a plan where I'm going to basically unlock all of the forged camos here. So as you can see over here over on the FR556, I already have forged for the FR556. It's an assault rifle, it's a FAMAS. There's 6 new ARs in total, and every single one of these are already gold. So we're gonna do all of the forged / platinum challenges for every single one of them in this video. So I gotta do the SVA, the MTZ, the Holger, the MCW, and the DG58. So first we're gonna go with the SVA, and the camo challenge is to get 25 multi-kills. That's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I don't know if we should do hardcore, or should do war, or just regular core. I'll figure it out. Let's build the class up. Anyway, thank you guys so much for all the love and support on the video yet. Grind, which I actually contemplated make on there. If it's not that great, I'm gonna go in the war mode, and hopefully we're not getting spawn trapped to death. One double kill. Triple kill. One kill. I think that counts as only one multi-kill though, so I need to be separated a little bit more. 1, 2. Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to do this in one game. If you get over like 50 kills, should in theory be multi-kills.
Stun grenade out! Stun grenade! Dusted him!
So it's lacking off of training to take down.
There's another more scrapes, huh?
Granted, as we saw with power lines, there are different power levels for the fog lines, particularly for the ones that do have the rating gun, but Sarda didn't fight any of the ones with the rating gun. However, you still need to play make. There wasn't a need for her to bust up on the power, that the more time you use it, the closer you get to losing the power altogether. That power is supposed to be constant, unless you're an idiot who spams it like Sasuke did, and loses power in order to kind of win versus other people who had the items over the span of several years, in some cases a decade. They didn't lose the light in their eyes because they didn't experiment. If she would have already told sure, that would have been a reasonable time for her to get you. Those skills of speaking in the narrative. But the thing is that she didn't fight those. Boruto showed up before things could escalate, which in hindsight makes a ton of sense now. In particular, after Chapter 5. Boruto knew what happens if you get bitten by a fog line. Sarda in that moment was outnumbered, yet people were worried about, and she would have had most of her system on code. And she likely went down this in the process, just like her father did. And Boruto swore an oath to Sarda. It makes sense that she didn't use it here. We're in a monthly manga, so the pacing when it's fast, it's going to be very fast. And when it's slow, it's going to be really slow. And you're going to have to because in real time, you're waiting a whole month for a chapter filled with simple dumps, and instead of reading weekly manga, you just roll the dice every week until half a year passes or 20 chapters pass, depending on how much longer it goes. That's something that happens when it does. I recommend letting the chapters build up and then go back to reading. That's what I did with Jujutsu Kaisen when I saw it slow down drastically after the Shibuya Instant arc. I let 4 to 5 I enjoyed it more. I did that at times with Naruto. I did that a lot with Bleach. I don't get this whole thing of we need to go showing our power right away when the story's narrative is clearly saying makes me glad that back when Forum was still a thing before Reddit even popped up, we didn't have Twitter because the Toby reveal got teased in Naruto 1 in Naruto Part 1. Me and Sasaki Flash didn't destroy you. And we didn't see Water and then until 15 volumes later. Several years later, Sasaki starring down during the Sasaki fight, and we didn't get confirmation until 200 chapters later. The same thing with waiting over 100 chapters for Naruto to even acknowledge Hinata's profession going back in the game. I said it back when we learned that this mode was taking over. You weren't going to have that great which was basically going to snapshots and bullet points where there wasn't a lot of stuff to basically say, hey, I work on the anime and we'll explain all this stuff in the anime. I said that things were that forfeit was speeding up because the concept of long-running plot lines and build up to reveals that was going to be a thing moving forward, which is what we've been experiencing for the last 3 years. We just have to say one of them was hunting down stars. common. It's clear as day, that's when the story started on get your Sharingan. We could see her using Mangekyo Sharingan before. That being said, I do remember waiting almost 3 months after Sasuke awakened Mangekyo to see this power, and after 11 weeks, we learned that one of the powers was the Matarasu. They totally see the power that we already seen is not to use the Matarasu. We want to see something different. 11 weeks and something happened, and instead the story focused on more setup and building other plotlines and over Sasuke to Mangekyo. But after Sasuke came in on that look, we didn't actually see it. After we got the Matarasu, we had to wait over a year to during the Kage Summit, and because the fandom wasn't smart back then, you still had a bunch of people who didn't understand that that was the second power of the Mangekyo. You thought you had 2 different Amaterasus in the eye. We have a monthly manga. Other threats are being built. Multiple subplots are getting layers added to the turn. If that's the one thing that you're reading the story for, if you're one of that Star is the only reason you can then I'm going to be super blunt. And it's not in my best interest to even tell you. It's in my best interest for fans to even tell you that there's nothing wrong with it. Look, if that's how you feel, then the story has failed in creating a compelling narrative. If you're only reading to see the power of Stardust Mangekyo Sharingan and what it actually is. If nothing else has actually hooked you, then the entire narrative itself has failed. We got the omnipotent stuff still going on. That's what I'm personally invested in. You got the Shinju evolving and hunting down specific people. You got Amato setting up Kawaki to get exposed by saying all this information. Amato's own agendas being continued. You got Boruto returning to Konoha again, with us waiting to see how Shikamaru reacts to Boruto and the news that he was giving my side that all their memories were tampered. You got the wild card of Mitsuki still being out there, who was dropped into the story as having this uncontrollable bloodlust towards Boruto, and Boruto just came back to the village a second time. You got the Boruto and Kawaki stuff, that battle of siblings that is looming. We have other things that are more important than Stardust showing from Mangekyo Sharingan power. Look, man, like, it's part of being in the fandom. You speculate on what the power might be. God knows I dropped a video breaking down the Shinto connections that I saw and why I think one of the powers, as unsexy as it is, going to be a Matarasu, but the other was linked to a deity associated with a Matarasu because of the overlaps in the story that inspired Sasuke and Itachi and Sasuke marrying Sakura, because Kishimoto has used Shinto and Buddhist inspiration for powers and plot lines and dynamics between characters. Perfect example being how Itachi, Sasuke, and Orochimaru, that entire plot line is directly lifted from a Shinto story. And Sasuke and Sarda's story in the entire Boruto Naruto Next Generations and Boruto 2 Blue Vortex is actually building on that said story. It's part of the reason why for about 3.5 years now I did Boruto fan series. I've been showing up on Boruto and really just doing longer discussions like this. However, following an ongoing series. Here, like what's going on with the series right now, Season 0. I waited 3 years for the fourth reality to play off what's happening in this current arc. Boruto actually has faster pace. I waited 18 months to get to now. And that's the only thing I'm making worried to Boruto period in the back in the frame. I think it's the best thing to do. I personally prefer manga but in this case, I've been saying to people, if you really dislike Boruto's animation, manga feels like, okay, people ignore it. That's how much it's on this stage. Boruto's anime, I gotta know it. Kishimoto's design, so they don't use the art style. At the same time, I understand it. I've spoken to people working for it. I understand it. With manga, you got Black Clover fans, they're in the process of learning the same thing from Boruto fans. Manga chapters and drop once every 2 years. You're waiting a whole 3 months just to see Robin and Luck team up to take down one out of the 11 enemies. Because a lot very good for action in this chapter, but there were still planted there for more plot threads coming up. Now we gotta wait another 3 months, and those things that we saw are probably not going to be paid off in the next chapter. I'm not sure if most of the tier 1, because tier 1 of these people are 6 months. I
recommend doing what I do when you're in the title or chapter. I don't read them every time that jump legally, and I can't read it legally in the United States because this media is I let the chapters build up, and after I get bored of this chapter, I jump back into the story. I don't personally care about spoilers, so I feel aware what happens with that scene, but I let the chapters build up and then I get back in. Because with manga, you're supposed to continue as the chapters begin, and then you're supposed to continue again in the form of the manga volume itself. Because the manga volume is a story based. So it has to be read back to back in the form of the volume itself. So when you do that, again, that's not in my best interest to even say. It's in my best interest to tell you that, oh, this is all amazing. I don't see any problems with any of the stuff that somebody's saying. Maybe we'll see what my best interest is. Just bring you along. That's my best. However, I've always told you guys exactly what I do. When I had issues with the art, I dragged Ishimoto when I had issues with the art. I dragged Kodachi when I had not touching on it. I caught a lot of heat and I lost subscribers by this. I dragged, I think it was chapter 43 when Boruto I lost 100 subscribers on it. It's in my best fantasy, but I'm not going to do that because I respect you guys enough to give you my honest thoughts.
Securing objective Bravo. Lost Alpha. Taking Alpha. We're taking Bravo.
Oh, what's going on, everybody?
Securing objective Bravo. Enemy securing Charlie.
Stun grenade out!
To explain here, bring you guys another report to discussion today. I want to talk to you guys about something rather interesting that shown to us at the end of the last manga chapter, which is that Shikamaru has been made aware of the fact that Amado was lying the entire time, and that Kawaki is the son of Naruto, and that everyone's memories have been altered by the omnipotence there. Sai states that he wants to know what Shikamaru wants to do based off of the intel that he was given. This has led to a question popping back up that so many of you guys have been asking. Comment section, and DM, Twitter, Patreon, and Instagram, which is the question of whether or not Shikamaru has been aware of the truth the entire time. From the very start of Boruto's time, better known as Boruto Tsubu Vortex, there have been at least 100 people writing to me why they think that Shikamaru has basically been working, starting Samurai by not revealing that he's distracted, that his memories are altered this entire time. You guys know my stance. I said before that while I don't this already, I do think that he was affected by omnipotence. Nonetheless, I don't think he was immune to it. I think that it's just like a model that showed us in the two chapters. That he knows his memories can be altered, but a model chose not to disclose that causing the fact that leads him to the conclusion. Similar to how Sasuke was still second guessing himself, despite seeing the star in his eye, his headband was possession the entire story. Sasuke still freaking out that he couldn't trust his memory, and wasn't sure if he was by working with Boruto, but that he was trusting his own daughter. Amado was trusting his own son, but what about Shikamaru? I've said for the last couple months now, I think it's more likely Shikamaru was affected by omnipotence, but that there was going to be a way for him to tell the truth. So this is where the decision, if the thing that Shikamaru is about to start again trusting is his skepticism, I don't think that we can discount that as a possibility, because just in this chapter, we had Sarada and Sumire the fact that overcoming omnipotence is exactly what Ada told Sarada and Sumire in chapter 1 of Boruto Tsubu Vortex. We don't try to force people to believe that their minds have been altered, because you'll just make them think that you're the crazy one who said their minds altered. We don't show them in photo baby Boruto to the face. Why is baby Boruto being held by Naruto and not baby Kawaki? Because the omnipotence will just make them go, well, that's weird, but Kawaki's still Naruto's son. Why is Boruto's name on the academy roster and not Kawaki? Well, that's weird. Well, Boruto is still the cyborg screaming on my car, and Kawaki's still Naruto's son. I go over it extensively in Omniscience Plan, if you want more details. Ada specifically said you have to focus on bringing new because it's easier to get breadcrumbs, and when people come to their own conclusion, then again you have to try to directly change their mind. In the new chapter, chapter, Sarda is at first stunned that Amato says that even though he knew he was affected by omniscience and the community had been tampered with, because he's seeing the proof suggesting the fact that all this happened, he's just choosing to willingly suppress his memories actively. At first, Sarda's pointing out you guys ever since omniscience has been casted, Sarda specifically said, hey, if it's Boruto and Naruto, they're still going to say Kawaki's Naruto's son. But Sarda saw an exception based off of his own evidence, where he knows that he can do exactly what Ada said, which is convention, their memories are wrong. They just accept, hey, my memory's been tampered with, and they go about life and their memories are not correct. Knowledge in their mind, not being trustworthy anymore, and they suppress what feelings that they have. Is it possible that Shikamaru's actually during the previous things played out exactly the way that Sarda told us, which is that Shikamaru at first was one of the people open to questions like, hey, why doesn't Momo shoot these choppers by the Kawaki? Since their memory said Kawaki was like, why is Naruto's son, someone who is not a rival, they probably question why the second coming of Minato can perform fire release when Minato's grandparents never perform fire release. They probably question why is this kid not able to make a routine of work. I don't doubt Sarda. By the events of chapter 1, I still believe that Shikamaru was under the impression that Kawaki and that Sarda was the one wilding out. I think he was very honest when he said, you defending Boruto like this is going to take control with the village itself and you'll never be Hokage by doing this. The way that they communicate, I do think that Sarda put some seeds in his mind by comparing personally from Boruto and Sasuke as being the same way that Naruto stuff for Sasuke during all those interactions in part 2 and how Shikamaru back then was on the wrong side of history. I think that the seeds already been planted that, hey, maybe Sarda's on his own. You have to remember, they have a way to communicate to link Sarda and Super and Shikamaru that allows them to talk without Ada being able to work. So there would have to be no need to keep it apart like that. Because they already are telling the lies to Ada to make her think that Sarda and Super are under her control. When in reality, they're under her control power. What is one more lie on top of that? Especially when it gives them peace of mind that they have another ally in Shikamaru. Especially when Kawaki there. If Shikamaru knew that his mind was tampered, if he was suspected his mind was tampered with, he could have Kawaki and Ada were lying about Naruto's death, and he could have been communicating with Sarda and Sumire via the Yamanaka plants and Jutsu in order to establish all that information. But he's never done so. No, I don't think that he was aware of the possibility his mind was altered when he and Sarda got into that argument in chapter 1. But I do think the moment that Boruto showed up and began acting in a way that he did, where Boruto saving the people of Konoha, and Sarda is so adamant prior to this on defending Boruto, saying that there's more to the situation than met the eye, that Shikamaru needed to pause the execution order on Boruto long enough to speak to him. I think that's where we saw Ada, everything she said coming to fruition. New information has been dropped as a breadcrumb for Shikamaru to come to his own conclusion in a way that does not directly challenge the power of the Shinjutsu. In his mind, Boruto had no attachment to Konoha, especially now that Naruto had been killed. If anything, he would have every incentive to want to stay away from the village, maybe see the village destroyed since Naruto's not there anymore, or at the very least not get involved when Code attacked. Yet Boruto was providing cover, he was taking out frog arms before they could harm people, he was moving the fight with Code away from the village with his attacks, forcing the fight into evacuated areas, and eventually got the fight itself outside the village. Shikamaru specifically warned everyone and ordered them, watch Boruto to try to determine his action. After all the chaos is done at the end of that last chapter, Shikamaru only had one person in the Hokage office, Kawaki, nobody else. And there was a lot to their conversation that happened off screen that we don't know, that has to be factored in before we had Sarda showing up to defend Boruto all over again, challenging Kawaki directly and telling Shikamaru that if he wants to verify everything Sarda's saying, he can actually check with Ada. Once Sarda started doing all that, that's when Kawaki started getting pissed. I think we're going to learn that Shikamaru is now, at the very least, getting around to considering Sarda's claims once he heard how Boruto acted during the attack. But now that he knows from Amato's own words that their memories have been tampered, I think all bets are off now. I do think Shikamaru is going to consider bringing Boruto in for a conversation now, because things are definitely getting to a boiling point where Shikamaru has to consider all options, because there are too many threats in front of him right now now as Hokage, and he can't afford facing those threats without knowing everything, which leads to a big question. Do you guys think that Shikamaru will be told the truth that Naruto is dead, or will Boruto keep that information to himself so he can try to resolve things with Kawaki directly? If you haven't already, make sure to check out the chapter review that you see on the screen. The story of Naruto is an iconic story that lasted for 14 years of serialization and spawned 72 volumes and an additional manga volume in the form of Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring, for a grand total of 710 chapters. But it was during the initial publication, there was a pretty hot topic of debate that to an extent still Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys. Boruto being the sequel to one of the biggest battles shown in history gives it a really high expectation, in particular when it comes to battles. And now that Boruto Part 1 has concluded in both the anime and manga, it's time for us to look back at the top 10 fights in Boruto. And for this video, it's only right that I bring in one of the most underrated voices in our Boruto community to figure out which are the 10 best fights in Boruto's anime and manga. That person is obviously me, which make sure to go subscribe to my guy's channel so we can get into over 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So starting things off at number 10, we're going to be going with Naruto and Sasuke versus Ishiki, which I think most of us would agree is one of the battles that has had the most tension heading into a fight. Prior to this, Naruto and Sasuke had just gotten beaten within an inch of their lives by Jigen, who was juiced up on Tentail's chakra, needing only less than a handful of direct hits to leave the duo unable to stand back.
Enemy UAV active. Not many ahead of you. Keep fighting, free for all.
Siege. I love how things are faithful. Express myself.
Let me know when they want their support. They stand firm and never fall.
Because I believe in myself. Know the tables turn, like moving cool, like anything for the fool. And pray to the Lord that I led. Can't stop my flow. No, they can't stop my evil strong on my energy. Fire rascal. Like you forget you feel me already when I need help.
Observation of reality is one thing I learned. Brave friends, I cut them off. Case like burns. In the end will be success, just take my word. I always trust when the process and I wait my turn. The grass burning out, outside looking brighter.
I will never give up.
Again, I was a fighter.
My one flow, my one still, my one fucking writer. So silent people think, not meant to be writer. This things will make sense in the timing. But this doesn't fear, that's why I keep on grinding. Stop up every day for those who want to stop my training. And I just real, no minions need to complaining. To express myself, I will amend and sing you. Or you will always continue. Believe in yourself, trust the instincts that it is. Let me know when I want to support, I stand firm and never fall.
30 seconds
Because
left.
I believe in myself, know the tables turn, like moving cool, like anything for the fool. Then pray to the Lord that I did. Can't stop my soul. So then can't stop me, keep us strong on my energy. Fire rascal. So you forget you already need help. Take a blessing, no need to be stressing. Keep stressing, let haters guessing. Me and my circle investing. Positive mindset, keep it up, manifesting.
Money making this when the girls checking. Things rapping, no half stepping. Why you holding my breath in? You could do all you want, triple C's and you're laughing. So on point, production, pick up yourself. I'm working with you, holding nobody else. Thinking about the riches and I'm thinking about the wealth.
Don't talk it.
things I've been through. Where I express myself, all of it essential. But will continue. Believe in yourself, trust the instinct that in you. Let me know when I wanted support. I stand firm and never fall, because I believe in myself. Now the tables turn, I'm moving cool. I ain't feeling for a soul. I pray to the Lord that I dead. Can't stop my flow. My flow, they can't stop my evil show, or my energy dread. Carry your soul. Like you forget to feel safe like when you need help.
Now, Caesar, check this out. No, somebody the album.
Somebody.
That's the only thing you also hear.
I'm doing myself with fools around. You ain't looking for money, that means you's a clown. Right hurdles in my way, I can't get over them. I keep the one move alone. Never is together, you still do no wrong. Moving up with those and do not use no phone. I must rise someday.
Yeah, she a bad bitch, love so thick.
Swallow one. On the watching. Buy a little sweet. She my baby. Bye. What's the fun? Do the thing, yeah, tomorrow. Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. Psycho freaky, really great for me. Don't feel your hold. Say some bullets with a touch on no fever. And number 4, we say to us freezer. Number 1 penny billboard slap.
When you start bunny hook and cock, and me squeeze up the breast while they in a back shot. Good fuck, make you take a long nap. Me a revive the fuck, make we start from top.
Bedroom.
Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me. Bones pan cocky like Lola Bunny.
Psycho freaks, is you go friend for me. Don't in the wood. Splash and bullet to the tight and I'm fever. And I'm a phone, me savior, squeezer. Don't you diva. Middle of the night, bad bitch, you fever. My shot, stop up on your ass.
Work everything, and raise up my hand. Body fit, get the stick, pussy looking at your jaws. Shift it to the side, and I have to bust it off. Tight pussy, girl, you want to start. Every day, you are living girl thoughts. When you walk on the sheet, you feel like them stars. Yo, we are the fine man. Wine for me. Bones pan cocky like Lola.
Psycho freaks, is you go friend for me. Think in the hole. Splash and bullet to the tight and I'm fever. And I'm a phone, me savior, squeezer.
Body clean, man, don't type you a diva. Middle of the night, bad bitch, you
whoa.
She a bad bitch, love so thick. Swallow one spit, all night shit. I watch Netflix, coming out here. Wild little freak, she on my favorite.
I don't take pain, we don't do the thing. We are hot boy. But it's fit. Hey, short my face, look like a kitchen sink. I'm a head thing. Somebody make it rotten and swell up with the protein.
Party on the white mouse. Unknown cat ready to drive on. Best place I'm ready in my gun. Somebody out to time before the night comes. I'm feeling new one. Like the way from night time. Real bonus. Glow 40 with a switch, a laser beam on it. Green sugar till it knows what brings things from it. I am Gully from the Gully Regiment, demonic. Like a sidewalk on each road, rerun it.
Can't clip bang like Mitsubishi run it. Right off boy face and they nearly met me from it. Ow.
40 on a white mask. Oh no, can't ready to drive fast. Let's spend some brandy in my glass. Somebody have to die before the night falls.
Where there was the river right this time. Playing dodgeball next to my grass. I pull a new corn, kill them broad day like the river like that.
If I for gun, but don't hold them just in the D-side the start. Where the hell I am?
I know you're ready to drive far. Princess and brandy in my glass. Somebody have to dead before the night pass. Where there was the was rising fine. Pitching marbles next to high crime. Pull a new 40 out of my bar. Kill them broad here like the river lights. Ha! Real badness. Glock 40 with the switch, I let a beep on it.
You brain steam for me. Gully from the Gully.
Like the sidewalk on each road, rerun it. Can't clip bang like me.
What's up, look on it. Come on, 40 and a white mask.
Unknown ready to drive fast. Baseless my water in my glass. Money under them for the night pass. Where there was when we was rising climb. Pick them marbles next to high grass. A clock 30 out of my balls.
Oh Jesus Christ, why got me missing, baby? Oh me, obsessed I'm in the camp. I just hope you're feeling lonely. Don't trust somebody, oh you're good, these are road and the winning trophy. Well, try about your body. Go you love some like Dory. Can't wait for the story. Don't give it best loving. I'll do right all night, to love talking. I'll do right all night, but it's all fucking. But most run those, but they try dropping. Give it the best loving. Oh my God. Baby, oh me, obsessed I'm in a camp. And leave night, just go where you feeling lonely. And just that body, oh yes, girl, you deserve more than this. Never try but your body control me. Come you lost some like Dory, we can't wait. Baby, hold me, I'm so sorry when you care for. Can't wait for the story.
Mission failed. Return to base. Send out the sharp shooters, yes man. Say it over, there never be no yes man. Every day we hunt ups and I press them. Pull them up at green tips, then dash them. We don't care about them boys and them damn friend. We will murder them team, just send them. Torture the whole of them, then quend them. Evil outside, who send them? Ha ha ha. So we'll open up them skull, every free them duffy. Forklifts combine, left them place knocky. Crim City man, evil at the damn puppy. What do them little fools, them down on the hill? Just jump out the pampas or them in jockey. But them all up place like a rubber ducky. Anyway we catch them, get them out and 30. Who the LX done? Deal with them who's totally. Our badness globally. We not play with nobody. Kill quick, cause we damn mobby. Send fire, we agree them with more fire. We not train my blood like vampire. Head hot, yeah, cool with no damn fire. Me never see a enemy, me ever slap it for. Put the nozzle on them out and wrap it up, tell them I ball pop out. Teeth and tongue, wonder what this about. When everything from the big guns run out. Big guns run out, everything gets spread out. After 7 years, no walk about. No east, west, no north and south. Tell them shut them out. We come within a nice scene, in a wild scene. We come for your boss, every we be hiding. We love run his mouth, we signing. He's saying bad, that's a bad dream. Send out Freddy Krueger, Barbie, Mickey Ruger. Every conscious young ask Martin Luther. Rapid communication, them know we have the future. Who know we them bad and tell them we have the teacher. What is the little of them in a bedroom? Anger rose killers, them ready to mash them. SSD killer shout out, fuck them. Ready man, ready, quick, send them. Ready man, ready, quick, send them. Ready man, ready, quick, send them.
Me always have a mask, I'm ready for kids. Send out chillers, walk out, we gon' want that still.
Put them up at green tips, we can call that fill. Put them in a freeze, and let them out at chill. 10, 6 feet underneath. 10, 7 bones, bloody bones at the beat. Put them, need them, what they lead. Send them issues that we will dance to when it leads. Tell come my friend run up on them and beat it on fully.
Run fully, send out your shot shooters, that's man. Say a word for the fucking last man.
Every day we hunt up and dash them. Pull them up and dash them. We don't care about them boys and them lanterns. We will never let them just send them. Send them. We send them. Send them. Send fire, we agree them with more fire. Send fire, we agree them with more fire. More fire, more fire, more fire.
UAV is bingo fuel. RTB at this time.
Are you on my choose? If you love me, no one even love me, when I hold my girl, cause me for you, if you for me. If not you, my love, no. Oh my God, you were the one for me. Yeah, girl, you are my right and night, I'm in the sunshine. You are mine, cause me, I'm the man for your mind. The girls and girls out the road. You my chosen, if not you, my love. You the one even alone. Me would hold my dreams as me for you, just you for me. If not you, my love, You don't want to leave it alone. Oh, for me, yeah. Tell us how you me love. You woman need. You were the one for me. Tell us how you. If I know you, my love, you want my God, for you. Your mother, boy. Me from proving I one of the greatest. When the money is a basic, but they call it no, I'm not racist. Different places, no matrix, put this on wages. Me send some other to holy labor. Energy, baby, no sensitivity. I just read the risk of a girl give me hickey. Make it a hickey. And unseen the fake and so not about my doing last mess from the races and they don't want to set the latest trend. Every time I do good their faces, man. You don't can stop me from proving I'm one of the greatest. Blurry vision, no better, it's just not blurry vision.
That bitch ain't no respect.
You're the richest man is me. Whole big like the castle in the world of Disney. Want so much money to make me feel like live free. laughing like my brain can't give me. Real shelter, don't sail every day. I never want boy grind. Make you write this decision because you won't work a short in your lifespan.
Energy, baby, necessity.
Stop naming people, really, it's a pity.
The drugs are geeky, weekly, my dad's brother, let's get my girl can be hickey. Your honey, I'm gonna make it to history. We're gonna make it to history. I'm gonna sing the fakest from the money and the ego, last husbands when the race is the ones that believe. Every time I do, their face is bent. I'm proving I am one of the greatest men.
Fucking this bitch, like in the paper.
Oh,
Grab up my clutch and put my jack up. With the hot split first, yes, up. A green light, what's the laser? Bad boy with a top of potato. Six for the place, like please the curator. Let's be a millionaire and a free laser. Like in a team, full of the sale, fuck you mean? Hit flat space, boy, face, what I mean? Let me see, no one cares, let me clean. That's how we bleed. Pussy, think of sleep, now we are bleed. Nine street, listen, Irene. Guy got pricing, Ben driving. B.E.S. I.B.S. Can't kill, get up by your mind. No pussy, no give me chat. Can you see the can clap? Me or some novice attack and I eat up and black. Say them a go give me shot. Must see the town no crack. A joke bad boy, them, you know, see that to pot. We money up and we are. And it's CS to rock. Yeah, let's go down for the 6th session of the sucker. Pop a pill in her cup, you think I rum and a dap. She ride the body head fast, then she give me a plaque. Fucking this bitch, like in the paper. Grab up my glass, take up my tape. With the hot split first, yes, sir. Green light, what's the laser? Bad boy, when I top the potato. Spread the place like please the curator. Let's be a millionaire and a free laser.
You know, see the girl shot big.
Me have the power link at a tour like Guadalupe. Raise money like a chicken and a think a egg balut. Yeah, me pick me where them want them know the bloody are the truth. Buy mommy pretty good, them know say baby chicks are good. America with their zest and pride sign up our shoes. Higher than no eat for shoes, so behave yourself, don't look for you. Lord the badness, it me cute. Free to reach out like the juice. It's that three-way road I wish one you ever choose. Fucking this bitch, like in the paper. Grab up my glass, take up my Jacob. With the hot split first, yes, up. A green light, what's the laser? Bad boy, when I top the potato. 6 for the place, like please the curator. Let's be a millionaire and a free laser.
Anthem music.
Start one production. Top. My heart.
Only the people that return they get bought up. I'm like, and they don't have a funny feeling about the person. I was quite right. Oh, then you give it the 100%. Then turn around and give you 20. First them the best of whatever they do. Let's see I was approach you with envy. Hence the reason of the state to myself. My circle small, not plenty. Girl gives it a chance to set me up. I have to send you a century. I come out of keep out of my business. I wanted to keep out. Full visible energies on sleep. Walk under the tight and heap up on the speak loud. Yo, just like karma, like a left brain flag. I hold my car now when I was born. What goes around comes right back around. Tribulations and karma. I can't believe I put my all into people and return. I get back up and blunt. And anytime I had a funny feeling about a person, I was quite right. My energies will never might, and nobody cannot stop me from soaring like kite. Positive output, bring positive input. Negative energies likewise. Oh, then you giving it 100%. Then tomorrow give you 20. Whatever they do, they say what's the future of envy. That's the reason I say to myself, look at what's on of plenty.
Kill them with these blessings, Johnson.
funny feeling about a person I was quite right. But electricity never might, and nobody can stop me from soaring like that. Positive of my brain, positive input, negative energies like life. So do you give it a 100%?
Them turn around and give you 20. Wish them the best of whatever they do. The same ones support you with envy. The reason I just take you my style. My circle small, not plenty. Can't give them the chance to set me up. I have to live through a century. Them turn around and give you 20. Wish them the best of whatever they do. The same ones support you with envy. My circle small, not plenty. Can't give them the chance to set me up. I have to live through a century.
Couple voices who look at the fancy,
Pussy little sniper bitch.
Early morning.
Well, he just sits in his spawn and snipes, man. I like, listen.
Nothing can make me but
I'm gonna kill the fuck out of Ghost that's chicken. Oh my god. Kill this sniper back here, man. He's getting on my nerves. Kill him.
21 passengers, 40 members, 11 minutes, 21 passengers. Like I say, they get put in there. No need for cover, blood, bless me, hunger, no blood working, never hurt press. Never trigger, never the press. Presence is on safety under contrast, that's spread over sheet on slumber peanut mattress. 21% jersey, never lot less. Central for process, blood to a mattress. Blood from a beer, really edges of the save any monster moves. Trigger to the finger on my hand, the sword, then the lake is a throw, broad daylight gun box, transport board. Talking on the phone, the new. Molly time me to pay for them, I can't afford the wettings. Better like them and like on the shore. Tell them already and they tell them again.
This motherfucker, man, I swear to God.
There's a fear that the dirt never seen. Oh, they told them what me can do. I know there's all for dirt, but they're mellow cream.
Wow. Got our fucking bodies blown up. Wow, got fucking wasted. No way. I'm just gonna keep trying to get B, man. Listen. Oh my God.
That's my cause I'm rapping it. I might go retard this shit. Belly cool and dashing it. Spending my money on toilet shit. Total, don't you do the kid. Total, don't you do the kid. What's the rolling avalanche? Yeah, my average. That's my first time rapping it. I might go Belly cool for dashing this. And all my money on toilet. Total, don't you do the kid. Total, don't you do the kid. I say 230, girlfriend, 4x4 like I'm only 18 with big dreams before 18. I'm thinking feel like a big ball with 6 rings, 4 bubble beat with 6 and turn the bus on avalanche on my job with my friends.
Where the fuck you get all these
like a manly kid,
bro?
I ain't recognition, I'm just scratching it. AMG just caught the with the surface, I'm just scratching it. AMG just caught the with carrying it. I don't know how to carry it. That's so scary, it's thicker than a variant. So just little Harriet, this is be so arrogant. Go to the room, get the gun. After that, I'm clearing it. Buzz on Glocking, and presidential level bomb. So just gonna run, kill the killers, gonna run over snakes and piranhas. Drake hit his face like a gunner, cougar. Ain't on a neck, like Madonna, oh mama, nigga. Put your gang out the picture, got more shots than some liquor. Say it's slime but I'm slicker, I kinda move like a lizard. Anyway that we get you, we give a fuck about the business. Taking freshers and niggas and choppers to think they random. Face shot, shades and dinners, put us in.
Everybody get on this motherfucker.
Like Jeremy
wow, this RPG us to death, like what the fuck?
Say that hey, they don't know who killed them, sipping like a riddle. This my first time rapping it, I might go retort this shit. Then they come from dashing this, and I'm my money on toilet shit. Total do the shit, what's the really happening? Get my own this my first time rapping it, I might go retarded shit. Billy Coop, I'm dashing it, and all my money I'm calling shit. Told you don't you doubt the kid, told them don't you doubt the kid. Oh, things spark. Boy, body up and drop back down. We don't give a drive by in a car. When the man's there, the US alive. 20 girls in macho. 15 the J cocket dollar. Grade 4 women as a point dollar. 3 got it cross kill it double. East side bites every day.
Wow, this dude is so, oh my goodness, dude. Fucking pussy.
Beat and teach your rifle to pick out the crocodile teeth. 15 easy fish out the mountain.
Okay, it's all over now, baby.
The nemesis open the mentor in them off a precipice. When a knife go open them belly with.
Let's go. They're sniping too much.
I know, they're small. Veritas.
That's what you get. I got more kills than your whole team. Shut up.
Yo, you also eat cock.
No, I don't do that gay shit. Keep this shit to yourself.
But every day, this month in your face and yeah, so the put him on the and the new SLR. You know the thing is come back alone. So this is what it does about the
Bust my piece as gun release shot for Caris man. Non-believer will I read a gun, me love me kill man. Don't tear up the street and bleach shot till the gun start running real hot. Fuck up any region, we know all the feet are idiot. Some long gun me lethal. Keep on up to lip up, fuck Korea, touch the squeeze, that's how we read, that's how we kid man. Love it, chica must be villain, me love God deliver. East side bad, heavy deer. This man to your face anyway. Can't have killer rate, go for them. Be a kid, chopstick to raise with the hell. Yeah man, bad to the day, me a dead. Be a machine gun trample them head. Here, shot. Here, shot.
Hello.
How we can do that? I tell myself, tell me it's so first time and I got to bring her. And when they touch the stage, my shoulders I know to walk up.
She come right front of me, better arch a couple of foot. I feel because of the chick then that I big up, I tell her just and I ain't gonna like the girl looking good. Just like it was. Don't get no distinction, and it's working for that next lesson. One of the things you then they gonna get on behind the truck. Come on, sitting on these bodies walking up to the this is going over. She put my hand on her shoulder. She about to bend over so much engine on it. She motor. She back it up and say yo to open this door, but that is a corner, but I'm bigger than the bitch road. I thought I was drunk, but I was because I'm thinking it, I couldn't get in it, but I'm faking it, okay, faking it. 3, 4 rings of in the corner, I see that's better than everything been crazy. So to this can't clean up to my doctor, oh, say my bees, oh, say no, no, me walking up, but you know that.
She can make myself make an arch of a
Nothing up the color, you know, like this girl looking good. Rifle fat, just like it, but this bumper get motivation. The label then for that vaccination. Men free, so she does our skin clean, they're not from Mars. These don't play, now no, we walking up by, you know that, 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 you know that. When I think she's been days, I get no behind her. I'm so strong, oh, so you know, she put my arms on her shoulder. She asked me to bend over so much into her. She walked it up and said, you're to open this door, but not as a former. I'm perfect as a quick. You wanna talk to the top, but I was getting it, I'm just getting it, but I'm getting it, oh, so getting it. She's more ring it, to be a crawler. She does the friend that she's missing it. Free, so she does they're not a mar. You're the outside, but she's the friend. I know, we walking up hard, you know that, you know that, you know that, you know that, you know that.
You know that, you know that, you know that, you know that.
And you know care where you come from. Don't talk up in your mouth, dog. You know last long. Keep down. You should have never come from. You tell me I said no, me when I'm wrong. I go to the bus, me not give you wrong. I go to the start, me and the song. Then you ready. Bye bye now, you can't get still. You got right to the family. The young dog them stop and ready. Like Shelly, don't get ready. I mean, no care, I mean, no matter. Some people make my heart start flutter, but them a talk, oh, them a big flutter. You get your head cut, and you give a flutter. I mean, I know, why they wanna put on a gun. Let's see how far them a go. Over here, the rifle, make your head blow. Them ready to the war, them ready. Bye-bye, no, none care. With the family, the young dog them shop and ready. One shot make it out like Shelly. Last boy, don't get ready. We gon' move it up now, and you know care where you come from. If you know this don't talk up in your mouth, dog, you know last song. Take time, you shoulda never go wrong. Anyway, me a say look, men me my wrong. Talk about jail, but me not give you wrong. Now we go deep shot for your next song. Hey, them ready for the war. Them ready.
No, I never born. So no good moon in the memo. We never born. As a rich man standing on a rich man nose. No time. My father coming from work and have a dime. No time. I love we.
Looking at me, I know, never diss you, baby. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Baby, from a fine, you alone, me wine, girl. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Coffee gone up in your lungs. On your body down, me two balls, them around. Me make your coffee ask me if me a take down. Me say no, baby, that I'm not big as a tongue. Select your sound like me name Jiggy Young. Just spin like wanna cash money slice down. You take June war in a street good on. Like power and shower like the Crips on the ground. Let's turn up the funk now, baby, make noise if you want. But don't daddy, so fall for your mama, for your papa, me no matter my time. If I come, you fi done, come already. Again, let's turn up the funk now, baby, make noise if you want. But don't daddy, so fall for your mama, for your papa, me no matter my time. If I come, you fi done, come already. Looking at me, I know, never diss you, baby. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Baby, from a fine.
Use common sense. It's not hard.
Wine pon the coffee, girl. Wine pon the coffee, girl. Loving your skin out to fuck you. Love to do me, baby, baby, come wine up, come
I did it. I did it.
So daddy. Again.
Kill himself. It's gonna be the best map of knives. Just be little rats.
Get the rifle bigger than all of them. But I never one piece that I got a big boat. Several lucky plays that now happen. But the one spawn to keep story been down to the spawn. We keep like shoot boy. We not talk to this chasing. Girl, you want to this face. You got one, you got more than five. Another one gone, five.
Stop! Put the shotgun down! Like, holy hell, I can't do anything. Just throw freaking grenades in there and he'll be fine, but like... Oh, screw it. You're getting a grenade. I hate this game. So bad at me. Stop taking my kills. As soon as I throw a stun where they are, they're all gone. What a coincidence. I got a kill, that's crazy. Ow. Why did I spawn on them? Makes no sense. Why would you spawn me on top of them? I don't have you. Otherwise I would have thrown it down. I mean, it does kind of help that you threw yours right on top of mine.
I wanna wind up on me, so fall it over. Maybe you a ticket to Barbados.
I'm going stun, Harry. Retard. Woo! Loves you guys. Stop using knives.
You a ticket to Barbados.
Ammo box, how are you now?
You a ticket to Barbados.
Oh, I can't see you. Why?
You a ticket to Barbados.
I wonder who's losing this one.
What you know about getting chicken spinning on it? All my niggas keep up on the way, never say
shooting bodies now, huh?
What you know about getting chicken spinning on it? All my niggas keep a gun away, never
how'd that not stun you? What? On top?
What on my head, my
diamond head. Two stuns like a normal Warzone game? Different from
They never thinking of my brother, y'all on hit me. They dripping this way, VVS, that's what I'm dripping. Sorry, I'm dipping. You can see up in my way, cause I'm already the same. They got your no, that's not a rating. They say 200 the limit. They're doing 2 pounds, you get one of them. Cutting diamonds on my shoulders looking fun. I put that right on my guns.
Oh my god.
Put that on my lungs. The bitch I'm calling to official. What you know about getting a chicken spinning with your name? All my niggas keep a gun away, never see. What you know about walking the social with a pistol? What's on my hand, my diamond dance. I'm a little high up in the sky, don't wanna learn.
Can't hit you. Oh, as soon as I come over here, they
when they go, I'll wet that gun or so. Put my neck in the throat. I'm gonna turn on chance in the hole. My relation is cuffing these hoes. What's wrong with me, don't know. Up on the frame and up on me a phone. It's on the treasure on me, 100 bands. I don't want the ride, but I really want the land. But you know I get the chicken spinning with your names. All my niggas keep a gun away, never slipping. What you know I'm walking in your social water filter. Both on my hands, I'm so high up in the sky, I don't wanna land. You know I'm in the boozy cause I'm mad. I might pull up in a raw here on land.
Nice retard.
I had to do it. I ran out of bullets. I'm sorry.
Someone's on my hands. Someone's on my hands. Don't know what's on the man.
You know, it's one thing and last time we ate up such nice dinner, they came like that. And today, I'm talking to my mum, yeah? And she's looking at me, she told me...
Get your fucking face. Isn't it cunt? I want me fucking music, but I can't. Now we get the fucking core and we leave. Yo. Straight jeans unfitted. In a white t-shirt, we did it. We rock these shits to the limit. Uptown, where's the road up on more? But Jesus was the purest. But G-Shock watch timeless. Jesus Christ, Captain! You. fitted. And the white t-shirts we did it. The road to the limit. Up down, there's a road to put more. But you the parent of the purest. A G-Shock watch, timeless. Yo, jeans are fitted, in a white t-shirt we did it. We rode this shift to the limit. Uptown, there's something to read about more. Which was the chance of the purest, but G-Shock watch, timeless. Yo. You know what they said, we did it. You know what they said, we did it. Up down, more. My roads are clean, are the purest. My G-Shock watch, timeless. Jesus Christ. Cool. Records. Lay down from lay drums.
Yo, it's the air when I follow me.
For 2023, boy, you gonna make history of one with a boy. Like Moon, and we make history of one with a goblin, kick, more than a make where diggers dig their gardener. Green City and top fan got the formula. My team fully active. My shots find people attractive. On my toes set like DJ reactric. Don't come round Sparky, we attacked it. But shot it for it, I have the courage. Flow stain like garbage, stay retarded. Brain cereal, no plain porridge. Short boy, she ain't Norwich. My nigga manless, send her and go this. Mama close on my chalice, somebody vanish. Deliver the boy for your all standing. Adios amigos, pure Spanish. The whole world knows so we bad. We met like her sell the most but the bad. Headshot left them big toe with the tag. Them only here bad, them ain't no criminal. The whole world knows so we bad. We met like her sell the most but the bad. Headshot left them big toe with the tag. Them only here them ain't no criminal. A whole heap of tough tongue. When it comes to war, them extremists give a head just jaw. When they boss calls, when they show up toes, road and some for rookie. No can man out there when I waste Suzuki. Something when a Suki, the way so a spooky. Shots it is just a jaguar like a sushi. Most is ready to circle them make idea. Have an idea to murder them quick. Roger think what they just like a bomb bird and then take. Just to a third then let.
Daily them act bad, no thing girdle, then fit jump feeling, girdle, then fit the
the whole world knows to me bad. We mention the most money bad. That's all of them bent over the time. The money about them ain't no criminal. The whole world knows to me bad. We mention the most money bad. That's all of them bent over the time. The money about them ain't no criminal.
Boy this, boy done.
Hello, Pinskin. We don't do the Pinten.
Back up and continue fighting, effectively winning a handicap match against the tag team champions of the Naruto World. After that, we learned from Amato that Jigen was a vessel for Ishiki, who was not only stronger than Jigen, but he was also Kage's superior and powerful enough that Kage needed an off-guard feat in order to take him down, which says a lot given how strong Kage is, and given that in the manga, it shows as Kage came to Earth with both of her horns and her Rinne Sharingan. That says a lot. Ishiki possessed a menacing aura about him right from the get-go, because it gave a a true sense of helplessness that he wouldn't be someone who could be brought down through sheer force. While he didn't have a karma seal like Jigen, so chakra absorption, it wasn't a thing that would be a problem for Naruto and Sasuke. At first, when it came to fighting against Otsutsuki for them, the true problem rests in the fact that his dojutsu could shrink any jutsu that his eyes lay upon during the fight, and he was physically stronger and faster than both Naruto and Sasuke. Even when he was heavily suppressed and playing around with them, he was still light years ahead of them. All it took was Naruto taking one hit from Ishiki and being sent through multiple buildings in Konoha for Naruto to acknowledge Ishiki's power was exactly as the model described, far greater than Jigen's. However, the fight itself is so much of a one-sided beatdown that the star power of Naruto and Sasuke, as well as the nostalgia hold that they possess over the fandom, and Boruto episode 216 being literally one of the best animated episodes in the Naruto franchise. From an animation perspective only, that's not enough for this fight to go any higher on this list of number 10 because it is just one-sided. It becomes very clear in the manga version that Ishiki could have ended that fight at any moment when he chose to, but in typical shonen villain fashion, the guy's playing around despite being on a timer. In the anime, we get this really disrespectful scene where the guy just drops chakra cubes on top of Naruto after penetrating him with big black rods in a way that should be on a certain adult website next to a Corey Chase video instead of being on Crunchyroll. And Ishiki just turns towards the camera, speaking to the audience, and says, "Next up." Like this guy's checking off items on a grocery list. When he isn't doing that, he's stomping Sasuke into the ground and riding him like a surfboard. However, it makes the list of the top 10 because it's one of the fights that is most effective at establishing a sense of unknown and peril in the community, which is really hard to do when you know that everything you're seeing is a flashback, which speaks volumes to Ishiki as a villain. So at number 9, we're going to be going with what I think many of us would agree is one of the most pivotal battles for Boruto on Team 7 in Part 1, which is the battle against Deepa in episode 166. Up until this point in the series, we've seen Boruto and company just breeze through their missions with not much difficulty, and that's to be expected when you have a team of genius prodigies like Team 7. However, the battle with Deepa was the first real time that Boruto and company had to come face to face with an actual set of shinobi in the form of Deepa and Victor that let them know that there were levels to this ninja world. And up until this point, Boruto and company, they're playing on easy, maybe at best moderate difficulty mode. However, these guys, they were playing on hard mode. Deepa presented for them something that they hadn't truly expected before, which is a challenge. And to be honest, Team 7 getting humbled by getting utterly destroyed was entirely, extremely enjoyable for me as a viewer. From the start, it became clear that Deepa was a problem, with how easily he tanked Konohamaru's Dragon Flame Bomb Jutsu, despite it being such a high-level fire release jutsu. Victor then proceeds to separate Team 7 from the experienced Joni and Konohamaru and Muchino, taking away the safety blanket that they provide in the form of experience. There would be no elder Joni who could cover up for them when they made mistakes or they pushed themselves too far. While Konohamaru and Muchino were struggling with Victor, who was merely toying around with them, Deepa was beating Team 7 with an inch of their lives, but it's the way that he did so that caused his fight to break the top 10 on this list. Deepa allowed Team 7 to go through their cute little battle formations that they practiced when they're training with Konohamaru. Each and every one of their tactics, it fell short. Even when Sarada and Mitsuki are opening up the door for Boruto to land over Rasengan at point-blank range, something that usually works, it ultimately resulted in Deepa not just tanking the attack, but he was laughing after trolling Boruto about the destructive output by making Boruto think he was really doing some damage to him, and then he proceeds to finger flick him and almost knock Boruto unconscious. The usually swift movements of Mitsuki that throw off his enemy meant nothing in the face of Deepa, whose carving cubes were enough that Mitsuki was on the defensive the entire time and eventually knocked Mitsuki out of the fight. Even when he faced Sarada with the Sharingan and knowing what those legendary shiny red eyes actually meant, Deepa was laughing at him. We've come a long way when you look at the ramifications of that. People used to see the Sharingan and run away. Deepa sees the Sharingan and has taken the time to turn and smirk at her before turning the intensity of the battle up, knowing full well he was shooting off projectiles faster than her Sharingan had insight to track. And it was due to this that Sarada found out what happens when an enemy can fully exploit her stamina issues, with Deepa giving her the uppercut so hard that somewhere in the afterlife, Neji felt that uppercut and got flashbacks when Naruto gave a 1 in the Chunin. This battle served as a moment where Team 7 learned that while they might be prodigies, there are still others out there who are every bit the monsters that they read about from days past. Shinobi, whose power in some cases surpassed that of the Akashi members, and as a result of this battle, it left all 3 members of Team 7 on the verge of death, so Konohamaru and Muchino licking their wounds and their pride being shattered and not being able to protect the gaining that they were responsible for. This moment was as huge for them as the failure of the Sasuke retrieval team did, experiencing Naruto Part 1. Team 7 left this fight traumatized, but with a clear goal in their mind to take down Victor, because their pride as shinobi, it had been wounded. This is even more so monumental of a battle when you look at the reaction of this fight's outcome, when you see Boruto's parents distraught over his condition, and you see Sakura barely holding it together over Stardust. And when you add in the fact that this fight brought out the resilience and the stubborn nature of these kids that they inherited from their parents, because Hinata, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Orochimaru are all incredibly stubborn, it makes the subsequent training arc feel like a reward for all the suffering that they endured.
At number 8, we have Kashin Koji versus Jigen. This fight was a tactical battle as it takes place after Jigen destroyed Naruto and Sasuke. As Jigen is resting from his battle where he is low on chakra and on the verge of death, Kashin Koji reveals himself as the trigger of Kara, and is the person who led Kawaki-go to the Leaf Village. This fight was a surprise to everyone, as only a chapter prior, Koji revealed that he was going to take down Jigen. He quickly took Jigen by surprise as he told him that his entire creation of existence was to take down someone like him. This fight brilliantly displayed the use of being a shinobi, as Koji explains that being a shinobi means being a tool for others, as he begins to use a wide variety of jutsu. Up to this point in the story, Kashin Koji's identity was unknown at the time, and many people speculated that he has some sort of relation to Jiraiya, as not only did he look like him, he used similar jutsus compared to the legendary Sannin, such as the Rasengan, Code Summoning, and Oil Jutsu. Jigen's body was incredibly brittle after his battle against Naruto and Sasuke, as it was confirmed he only had less than 10% power, so Koji was able to keep up with him and trick Jigen into a summoning of natural fire that Jigen couldn't absorb with his karma. This fight brilliantly displayed ninjutsu and tactics of being a shinobi, as despite Koji being a much weaker opponent compared to Jigen, he was able to strategically control the fight to the point where he was able to kill him. Once Koji fulfilled his purpose of killing Jigen, Ishiki Osatsuki resurrected, where using his Dharma Dojutsu, he shrunk Koji's mask, revealing his identity. We find out that Kashin Koji was a synthetic clone of Jiraiya, and at least according to Ishiki, was destined to die early, just like how Jiraiya's fate was. Koji then begins to use Jiraiya's specialty jutsus, such as the art of the Raging Lion's Mane, and tap into Sage Mode, but unlike with Jiraiya, who needed help from Ma and Pa to tap into Sage Mode, Kashin Koji was a perfect sage, indicating that he was much more powerful than the person he was designed after. Koji then fights Ishiki, where he almost kills him after breaking down his Sukuna Hipona ability in a matter of seconds, where he almost crushes Ishiki with a massive Rasengan and massive flames, but in the end, he does take the L, as Ishiki was just way too strong. However, Kashin Koji displayed his high IQ, as he was able to lure out Ishiki, and if the anime didn't sacrifice the quality of this fight for the Baryon mode fight, this fight would be much more higher on this list. At number 7, we have Boruto versus Ao, and I think we can say this is easily Boruto's best solo fight in the series so far, at least in part 1. The narrative implications of this battle was huge, as Boruto just witnessed his close friend Mugino die by Ao at the hands of a scientific ninja tool. So Boruto promises that he's going to teach a valuable lesson to Ao on the proper use of the tool. With the help of Team 7, Boruto was able to neutralize some of Ao's tools, such as the gauntlet that was used for absorbing chakra, and thanks to Mitsuki's high IQ, the chakra saber was able to drain Ao's chakra. However, Ao was able to separate Boruto from Team 7 using flying drones, where Boruto displayed his best solo fight in this series so far. In the anime, Boruto is seen jumping drone to drone in mid-air, all while trying to avoid getting hit by them. My man was upside down throwing lightning shuriken, destroying the drones in the process, all while creating a massive water-style jutsu on Ao. In terms of jutsu variety and creativity, Boruto displays his best solo fight in the series, as he displays his incredible dexterity as a shinobi. In the end, Boruto was able to trick Ao once again, but this time by applying the lesson his father taught him, by reading the hidden meaning behind the hidden meaning. Boruto takes him down using the Rasengan, and like father like son, Boruto does the classic talk no jutsu to save Ao, and because of this, Ao saves Boruto's life before Kashin Koji kills him.
Now, at number 6, we're going to go with Team 7 versus G for the rematch. As you get Boruto episodes 175, which up actually holds the record for the most number of original cuts in the entire Naruto franchise, and has more original cuts to this fight than some My Hero Academia episodes, including All Might vs. Nomi. In their first battle, in episode 166, if that was meant to be the wake-up call for this team of prodigies regarding power levels and skill gaps in the world, this battle was meant to showcase the benefit to training to overcoming obstacles. Whereas their prior fight gave me immense joy at seeing them get destroyed and torn down by the more powerful and experienced shinobi, this battle gave a different kind of pleasure. It gave the ultimate satisfaction as a viewer to see Team 7 reflect on their depression and getting humiliated on the skill. Then to find their weaknesses and begin training to overcome those weaknesses, which expressed intent of taking down people, and it's a big part of the payoff for the journey that we took to get there. For Boruto, this is what Matt Boruto's doing. The one thing that many fans complained that he didn't do enough of, which is training to create his own jutsu. In order to do so, Boruto went straight to Kakashi and sought out his help. Kakashi proceeded to tear Boruto down by making him go back to the original basics of his ninjutsu arsenal and start over from scratch. Despite Boruto being annoyed, but the whole purpose of this was to find a way to take Boruto's weaknesses and turn them into strength. First, they're training Boruto with the Rasengan that caused Kakashi to look on in awe that Boruto truly did have Minato's genetics, not my words, that's Kakashi's words, and we saw that Boruto had an outside to a box way of thinking like a father Naruto, by realizing that instead of trying to do the impossible, which is overcome the shortfall of not having Naruto's chakra reserves, trying to find a way to increase his chakra reserves in such a short period of time, which is impossible. Instead of trying to do that, Boruto looked at his weakness and built strength on top of those weaknesses. His wind release Rasengan has its chakra control, but according to Kakashi, it suffered the same problem as the vanishing Rasengan, which is that it didn't have any punch behind it. Boruto was barely able to destroy a pile of stones with his wind release Rasengan. While it did pack a punch, it's only doing damage because the target never sees it coming. It's basically an off-guard damage feat. Boruto's workaround of this was to take his chakra control and focus on pushing the Rasengan to its limits by using extreme chakra control to compress the size of the Rasengan down to the smallest point while pouring more chakra into it, because compressing that much power raises the damage of the attack. We saw Sarada training with both of her parents to increase her chakra control and increase her skill using the Sharingan, in particular the Sharingan Eye of Insight, which can predict the flow of attacks and movements, which she hit her wall against Deepa during their first match. Misty ran into the problem of his body breaking down after briefly using stage power, and it got to a point where his fully controlled chakra blast in that form only managed to bring Deepa down to his knees, and Misty's internal organs were so bad that Orochimaru's clone son Log had to donate organs to Misty so that Orochimaru could upgrade his body and save his life. This rematch in the outcome where Team 7 come out on top was a tremendous payoff because it felt earned. Because for the first time in the series, we truly saw what a team of prodigies who worked their butt off to overcome the hill in front of them actually looked like, and they managed to win the fight by leaving Deepa paralyzed. So now we move into the top 5 with the fight that some might argue is the best animated fight in the entirety of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, which is Kawaki versus Goro. While the manga version of this fight is nothing special, dare I say, because the manga version was a snooze fest, the anime took this fight and truly showcased that the battles we could expect moving forward were going to be on a completely different level. We start out with an impressive showing by Kawaki in his face, using the ninja tech inside his body to attack Goro with a level of feral ferociousness that we hadn't truly seen in the series up until this point by a member of Boruto's generation. When the dude ain't making some ninja tech
when you're fucking, don't you close your eyes? Or you keep your eyes wide open?
Like, Goro. This dude is dodging chakra blasts from Goro's ninja tech at point blank range, and the battle, it just shows you the difference between Boruto and Kawaki up front. Boruto up until this point has had some life or death battles, but he never truly fought with the intention to kill. Boruto still fought with the honor that you expect from a Konoha shinobi, particularly one who calls Daddy the 7th Hokage.
When I met James, I didn't wear my contact lenses, so I didn't even know what he looked like until we got married.
Showcased a fighting style as someone who had seen true combat, because each and every day of his life up until this point was a fight for survival, especially after his drunken father sold him to Jigen to be experimented on. Between Kawaki getting a German suplex from Goro that will make Brock Lesnar proud, and Kawaki jumping in mid-air to grab debris to fall on top of Goro's
Yo.
Girl, how can you sleep with old men? Oh, sorry, I was rereading that question.
Bring you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something rather interesting following the release of Chapter 5, which is the fact that we have the leader of the
How can you fall in love with old-ass men? You learn to fall in love, really?
Who exactly Jura is. I wanted to weigh in on this after having taken some time to think things over, and I do believe this might wind up being another situation like the one that
you learn to fall in love pretty quickly when they start paying for your bills, taking care of you.
Kakashi during the Sasuke versus Itachi fight, and fall 2007, we would finally get the confirmation that Toby was actually Obito. It was right in the faces of readers back then, but as we as a fandom tend to do, we tend to look past the simple answers and the more creative answers, which there's nothing wrong with that. Oftentimes, those end up being more well thought out than what we actually get, and it's part of being part of a fandom. We discuss theories and etc. to go time between chapters coming out, which is what the Boruto fandom does. Right now, either on YouTube, such as videos such as this, or Twitter, or Reddit, or whatever social media platform you use. I think we are in a situation where some of the ideas that we're getting on who Jura is are actually more creative than the answer we're going to get, and just as in hindsight, we can all laugh at the Toby agenda in the late 2000s and early 2010s that led to the massive meltdown by online fans of Naruto's manga. I'm starting to get some of those same vibes of Jura and his identity. That this whole idea I have who Jura is wrong because it's not in the answer. Enough so that it's reminding me of that Toby situation. I'll be transparent. Initially, I thought the Shinju named Jura was in Daytona. But in preparation of a mega video I'm putting together for Board to Studio Board, I think the answer is on the face. I personally think Jura is going to be revealed to be Kawaki, and I think that there's super strong evidence as to why it's Kawaki. But I fear this might be another situation like Toby being Obito, where there's going to be a meltdown by manga readers online. I've talked about it before. I lived through that reveal of Toby, and I saw how Kishimoto, after letting 4.5 years to build up the mystery, who Toby was in the manga, because the fans to build up their own answers to the point where nothing other than Ishino Uchiha or a modified Zetsu would actually satisfy fans. So that being said, why exactly do I think that Jura is going to be revealed as Kawaki and like I initially thought, or Gar, or Ichigo, like a lot of people are saying? It all goes back to chapter 2 of Boruto Super Vortex. The devil is in the details, where we see Kawaki pull up and begin fighting against the Tento Claw. The one Claw Grime that we see who has the intelligence enough to speak is clearly evolved and different from all the other Shinji, to the point where he isn't even acting solely off of instinct like the others, fighting whatever's random, but instead he's able to differentiate between a normal human like Chocho and an actual Tsuki like Kawaki. And that Claw Grime locks his eyes on Kawaki, he calls him Tsuki, and then he proceeds to go straight after him. That Claw Grime is shown slamming Kawaki into the ground, and it also just happens to be the only Claw Grime we saw that has a Rinnegan. It's been 3 chapters since we saw this, and there's been no explanation given on the Rinnegan on this Claw Grime, or why it's the only one that we saw with it. But one thing to keep in mind is that the Rinnegan does have the basic abilities that every Rinnegan user has access to. That's the 6 times the pain jutsu, which also includes the Freighter Path ability to the chakra. We know it doesn't have to include something like the Jordan Ninjutsu, like we saw when the Freighter Path absorbed Jiraiya's stage art with Sengon, but more than once we've seen that the Freighter Path can absorb chakra with physical contact, and it doesn't take a long time to keep chakra off chakra. Even a small bit can be drained off pretty quickly. I think this is exactly what happened in chapter 2 of Kawaki had some of his chakra absorbed in his touch. But I'll admit, there is a problem with this line of thinking that does have to be addressed, and like I do when I used to cover Boruto fan theories, and if I found it interesting, I'd weigh in on the good and bad aspects of it. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to talk about some of those potential red flags here. So, as we all saw, the Claw Grimes, when they do bite someone, there is a transfer of the chakra that takes place. And when a person is bitten, they get turned into a tree. Obviously, Kawaki was missing. We never saw that. So there isn't a tree version of Kawaki, but Kawaki fell on his Karma Seal, used the insect body to fire off his chakra blasts for the Claw Grimes that attacked him in chapter 2. However, based off of what we know, we can conclude that the chakra is somewhere. Chakra is made up of physical and spiritual energy. Chakra is meant to be shared. That's the whole reason why the world started telling everybody about ninjutsu. Claw Grimes are born from chakra of a person into a physical body. A perfect blend of yin and yang release, like we saw with other aspects of the Naruto series. So, assuming that Kawaki did have his chakra stolen here by the Claw Grime, who just happened to have the Rinnegan, we have to ask ourselves the question: who is it that Kawaki values more than anyone else in the world? Who is it that Kawaki goes to sleep without thinking and wakes up every morning thinking about? Naruto Uzumaki. Kawaki said himself before he threw away Naruto and Hinata, it's alarming even to himself as to how much his life revolves around Naruto Uzumaki, and he doesn't truly understand it himself. That boy is upset. Jura in the last chapter reveals to us that the person who he wants to target the most is Naruto Uzumaki, and he refers to it as following his instinct. And we know that there's a connection via chakra just based off of how each of these things you were targeting people for different some form of connection with them. Matsuri is made from chakra and she wants Konohamaru, her childhood friend. Hidari is made from Sasuke's chakra and she wants Sarda, his daughter. The unnamed Shinju, who's made out of Bug's chakra, just happens to also want Ada, someone who captured Bug's heart because of the Shinjutsu, and someone who Bug is clearly afraid of because he didn't want those to wake her up in Boruto Naruto. When we were first introduced to Ada, and there's conversation surrounding Ada and Damon being the only cyborgs who Jigen said, yep, they gotta go, and they ended up surviving. There's a lot about that we don't actually know what happened because based on what we know, they shouldn't have even been putting those chambers to be staged in the first place because of how strong they are in their abilities. Does anybody really think that Bug is gonna walk up to Ada, shove her in the chamber? Does anyone think that Bug is gonna be able to walk up to Damon and shove him in there? Damon will shove Bug's head up the blink 3 times. So there's something else here with Bug and Ada that we don't know. Jura wanting Naruto makes no sense for Kawaki's chakra.
Oh, that was
nice. Makes sense if you look at the meaning behind the name of Jura, which I see why people make that connection. Depending on the Japanese lettering system that is used, it'll mean good or excellent or fine, being of high quality and superior. That's why a lot of people say, hey, this guy's gotta be Gar, because Gar, he's a Kage. Kage are superior. And Jura was someone who has a somewhat similar messed up haircut like Gar. However, we don't know if there's any other attacks on the other ninja villages that actually took place, and just based off what we know, Code really, logically, has no reason to target any other ninja village. So it doesn't even make sense. It would be like walking into a Domino's pizza shop and asking for a Big Mac and fries. They don't sell Big Mac and fries there. They sell pizza. Code going to the Sand Village when his targets are Boruto, who's on the run, and Kawaki, who's inside of Konoha, it makes no logical sense. Kawaki, on the other hand, that translation, it actually fits when you look at it. The only claw grind that we saw in those first 3 chapters of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex to have a Rinnegan was the one who slammed Kawaki, making it superior to the others, as the only one we have that is confirmed that has that Rinnegan. I'm not talking about the other Shinju, I'm talking specifically about these claw grinders. That also makes it of high quality because the Rinnegan was a dojutsu build in the Naruto data books to be the superior of the 3 great dojutsu, the Sharingan, the Byakugan, and the Rinnegan, and it was stated to possess the power of either a god of destruction or a god of change. Him being the one whose chakra was used to make Jura, it lines up for that reason and another reason for the Kawaki. Kawaki is able to use Ichigo powers and the chakra cube stored in the Daikoku dimension, which happens to be where Naruto sealed away. And as we've seen before, with that Sasuke clone and with the Moegi clone, both Hidari and Matsuri are able to use the jutsu and powers of the people whose chakra they have. Jura is shown sitting on or near chakra cubes, and his target just happens to be inside the Daikoku dimension, which is someplace you would have to actually access, and that's not by mistake. And the fact that we're learning they're continuing to evolve means that there's a potential that eventually he's going to evolve and be able to get into it. I think the main red flag in this whole thing over all the other Shinju that we've seen, the ones that were born that were made from the chakra, those were bitten and they were turned into trees. Now, we didn't see every single person who was bitten turn into a Shinju, because there were other fodder shinobi who were bitten and aren't walking around as Shinju, but given that Moegi was bitten and moments later in universe we see Matsuri, which is a reminder, even though it's been months for us in real time, all the events at the end of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 1 to the end of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 4, they're all happening within moments of each other in universe. At best, it's a few minutes given the nature of battle and the urgency in clearing out the village. So the fact that we didn't see Kawaki get bitten, you could say, hey, that means that it isn't actually him. However, if chakra is what's needed to make an evolved Shinju, biting someone isn't the only path forward. But that is something that I do have in the back of my mind saying, wait a second, maybe pump the brakes on this. But honestly, given that the Shinju is literally a creature whose sole duty is to suck up chakra, to harvest a chakra fruit, this one used a Rinnegan to build chakra, it makes sense. It just won't be enough to make a chakra fruit, since the Lord tells us they literally have to consume an Utsuchi beforehand. Otherwise, Jigen could have fed some of his chakra to the Ten-Tails and been done with it. Momoshiki could have fed some of his chakra to the Ten-Tails and been done with it. He wouldn't have had to actually try and hunt down Kawaki. If Jura is made Kawaki's chakra, When Naruto's manga gave us the book for G Fuel, to say that G Fuel is a keto to me as a creator is an understatement. Between uploading daily on this channel and consistently uploading on 3 of my other channels and still finding time to hit the gym, I need all the energy I can get, which is why I turn to G Fuel energy tubs such as the Ice Spice Orange because of the amazing flavors and having just enough caffeine to keep me going for the day with the 140 milligrams, which lets me drink a couple of servings once when I first start working and second in the afternoon when I'm wrapping up working for the day and need that last push of energy. And best of all, G Fuel is a sugar-free performance energy drink. That is huge for me personally. Between that and the 50 different flavors, I'm absolutely in love right now. On top of that, there are 19 different all-natural flavor extracts for unparalleled cell protection, and it contains vitamin C, D, and E. Use my affiliate link in the description box and my promo code KAGE, K-A-G-E, to order some of the Naruto energy tubs like Naruto's with Rasengan, soda, ice candy, or some of the other awesome flavors over on the website. Again, use my promo code down below and the discount code KAGE on your G Fuel order today. What's going on, everybody? It's bring you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today I want to talk to you guys about the major bombshell that we got following the end of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 5, which is that the major reveal that everyone's favorite mad scientist Amado was indeed aware of the truth and that Omnipotence when it was casted. And as we normally do here on the chapter, whenever Amado speaks, we just automatically assume that if the guy ain't lying, then he's clearly speaking out of both sides of his mouth because he's planning something behind everyone's backs because as Amado is always thinking a few steps ahead of everyone because he has his own motive. However, the important information we got out of this chapter that he not only knew his memories were being tampered with, but he never said anything to anyone warrants a discussion from us because it once again proves to us that despite Amado not being a fighter, Amado is easily the most dangerous character that we have to deal with in the story, which I know that sounds wild, given we have all these cyborgs and aliens in the story. We have an Osusuki god lingering out there. The idea is some infiltration dweeb who looks like Amado, who has a stack of dimes for a neck, actually being a threat sounds crazy. But in today's video, I want to open your eyes if you've been sleeping on Amado this entire time. So here's the thing. Amado tells Sumire that he not only knew his memories were altered, but also that he knew full well that everyone had been lied to by Kawaki. That is a really big deal. He waited 3 years to disclose the truth to someone, and the only reason he brought it up was because Sumire was fishing for information during the conversation, and Amado just laid it out there, which means he didn't care who knew that he had been lying because he's already had time to calculate the response and begin to formulate how he will respond to the warranted outrage that someone like Shikamaru unleashes on. In the 48 Laws of Power, there's a common theme that is repeatedly stated or implied throughout the various laws in the book, and it applies to Amado here, which is that you never announce your moves to your enemy. If they're making a mistake, you let them continue to make their mistakes, and you work in silence to take advantage of their misfortunes as someone who is going to be peddling the cure to their problems, or as a vulture ready to come in and feast on their remains after they find themselves in such ruin. Basically, you move in silence, and you never speak until it's time to say checkmate because there is power in silence. Amado has applied that line of thinking consistently since he's been in Konoha. He never tips too much of his hand, and you never quite know if he's being completely honest with you. It's just as Ada said to him following the battle of Damon versus Code. Amado makes all these messes, and then he comes in with a way to solve them in order to maintain his leverage and usefulness to people. He's basically the guy who punches you in the face and breaks your nose and has you bleeding, and then he tells you the medical treatment needed to fix your nose after the fact. Amado, by telling us that he figured out that his memories were altered and knew that despite everything and everyone telling him that Kawaki was Naruto's naturally born son, despite his own memories showing him that he had experimented on Boruto, Amado knew that all of this was a lie. He knew that Kawaki was a child he turned into a cyborg, making his entire body into a ninja tool. Kawaki was the child who had the genetic data of Amado's daughter inside of his palm. He recognized the truth and he had no problems keeping that truth to himself because at the end of the day, the only one he truly cares about is himself and his goal to revive his daughter. It doesn't matter what lies he tells in the process. It doesn't matter what half-truths he tells. It does not matter if he's lying by staying silent, so long as he gets the desired outcome. He is completely fine with staying in the shadows and pretending to be ignorant. When you deal with people like that, they are some of the most dangerous people you can be forced to handle because they have no loyalty to anything other than themselves. which means they cannot be controlled. They have nothing to lose. To use a real-world scenario, it's why a job will take two candidates. Both of them can be equally qualified on paper. And the only difference is one is married with children and the other is single. And they'll weigh out the pros and cons of the one that they think they can control more. If, say, it is a government job, like the one that I used to have, that single person is going to be viewed as being more of an asset because they don't have a family tying them down. There are no sick kids that they have to go get from daycare stuff. If there are long, irregular hours that come up during campaign season, they don't have the restrictions holding them back that a married person with their family might have. If you're working a corporate America job, like say the one that my sister has, that married person looks a lot more attractive to you as a candidate because they have a family. They are less likely to jump between jobs because they need stability because they have people that are counting on them. And they're more likely to put up with things that a single person might not do because their kids, they need medical insurance. They have bills that married couples tend to have. Versus someone like me who will be working that same job, I'm good as long as I have a couch and a TV and a laptop, a few cans of tuna and rice. I would be willing to walk out of a cushy job if I didn't think I was being treated right because I don't have the liabilities that having a wife and children gives me. That's what Amato has in terms of leverage right now. He has everything in his court. The Konoha higher up appeared to not know the truth, and their eyes were set on Boruto. Boruto was the one who killed Naruto. We gotta go kill Boruto in response. Meanwhile, Amato has Kawaki, the person second in strength only to Damon in the village. Kawaki's in his corner. As long as he doesn't piss off Ada, there's no reason for Damon to come after him. Amato basically has the two strongest people inside the village and is in his corner. Kawaki needs Amato to perform maintenance on his body to keep the ninja tech functional and operating at peak efficiency. Amato needs Kawaki to implant the Coma Seal onto his daughter's clone Delta so that Akabe's data can be extracted into that clone, which we gotta start asking questions now because it's been 3 years and it appears as if he hasn't done so, which now we gotta ask why. Amato was content sitting there watching everything burn and watching people run in the wrong direction because he's been planning something related to his goals. And the fact that he's speaking up now, after Code just attacked the village and after Boruto's just returned, it means that he does not care who knows that he knows the truth, which means he's close to ready to having that Coma Seal placed on Delta. Or if he hasn't already come up with a contingency plan, in the event that this doesn't work, he now has one. But whatever plan he has still likely rests with Kawaki because he's kept the truth about Kawaki's secret this entire time for 3 years. And Amato just happens to be the only person in the village who has a shutdown code used on Kawaki in the event that Kawaki gets out of control. Amato is that person you see at the casino who is counting cards and they haven't been caught. He's robbing the casino blind before they catch on to it. The only question we have to ask now is why did he wait a whole 3 years to disclose this information? Full well that not only was Sumire a spy for Shikamaru, but he was also likely being watched by Sai and Mabu under Shikamaru's order. Naruto's Hokage probably wouldn't put surveillance in that lab. Shikamaru, on the other hand, probably got surveillance in Amato's bathroom. Amato isn't someone who does things by chance. Every decision has a reason behind it. It has a method to the madness. This is the same guy who had no problem playing a long game with Jigen to sabotage Kawaki as Ishiki's vessel, to help Kawaki escape, to come up with a plan to kill Jigen, and then roll the dice on hoping that Naruto and Sasuke could outlast Ishiki long enough that Ishiki died. Also, he would be the sole person who could benefit from Kawaki's powers as an Utsuki. If he was willing to go that far with an Utsuki, do we really think he isn't willing to string Shikamaru along further? That's actually going to lead me to my question in the video, which is, what do you think Amato's true goal actually is? And in the meantime, click this link to watch the chapter review if you haven't already.
Mission compromised. We failed.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Bringing you guys another board, those two blue boards of discussion today. I want to bring up something that's been bugging me since the end of the last Boruto manga chapter ends. We got that massive reveal that Amato knew the truth about Boruto and Kawaki, which is, now that we've seen Amato and we have example 1001 as to why he's still sus, we need to raise the alarm bells on why the story has waited this long to reveal this about Amato, and most importantly, why we still have no closure on the information about whether or not his daughter's clone Delta has gotten the comatose place on her body yet. That's been the one thing going into Boruto 2 Blue Vortex that I wanted to see addressed, even though I knew that it was a possibility it wouldn't get addressed right away. And I'll probably have the text on this thumbnail say something like plot hole, along with custom art of Amato and Delta. Even though I don't think it's a plot hole, just doing that more so because I can see some of you guys coming to that conclusion. But I am instead going to double down on my stance when Boruto Naruto Next Generations came out, which is that this is clearly a Chekhov's gun, and it's going to have huge ramifications in the future when this does end up being a plot point that gets paid off. Again, I don't expect it to be paid off right away. I think that we're still a ways away from that. For those of you guys who are new and haven't heard me use that term, Chekhov's gun, before, or you've never heard it used before in your life, in short, the term is something that you'll encounter in literature circles by literature nerds such as myself who study the art of writing, or people such as myself who have worked in the publishing industry before. A Chekhov's gun basically means when you introduce something into a story, like say a gun sitting on a nightstand in a bedroom, there's a belief that by the end of the story, that gun has to have been picked up at least once, or fired off at least once, or have been used in some kind of capacity by the end of the story itself. Not everything that you see introduced is a Chekhov's gun though. Let's make that clear. But something like this definitely meets that criteria because when it was introduced, it had all the classic red flags that you would be looking for. Amato had told us that this was his only way and his last option to have his daughter's soul placed back into a living body by Kawaki by having him place the coma seal onto his daughter Akibi's clone, the cyborg we know as Delta. Amato's desperation was there on full display, and it did come across as genuine, but taking out the side eye that we as a fandom tend to cast on Amato when this dude does something as simple as breathe funny, there was another line dropped in the story that tends to get overlooked due to how much has happened since that line was stated. Kawaki specifically asked Amato, if I give this coma seal to Delta, will it transform her into Natsuki, or will it birth a new Natsuki? It was a valid concern by Kawaki, who for all of his obsession with Naruto, had moments where it's totally logical, and this was something that was important. By the point of the story, even though Kawaki hadn't verbalized it yet, he'd already come to the conclusion that he was going to kill every Natsuki out there. At the very least, one could argue that if he hadn't come up with that conclusion yet, he'd been very dangerously close to reaching the point. Knowing who your targets are is crucial information to have because you can't eliminate a threat that you haven't yet identified. Kawaki's answer was one that was focused on gathering intel and Amato's delayed response. It raises red flags. If you go back to chapter 76, Amato doesn't answer right away, and he's smart enough to know how to read the room that he's in, which should not be underestimated as a skill because as Ada has told us in the past, Amato tends to play cards in a deceptive manner by making methods and proving it later with the answers to the problem he created. It allows him to hide behind a manufactured chaos that everyone is dealing with while making himself feel more indispensable by having the solution to the problem that everyone's dealing with. That way they all thank him, hey Amato, thank you for the solution, while simultaneously getting information on how the people around him respond to certain manufactured stress tests. He's what Robert Greene talks about in the 48 Laws of Power and the 33 Strategies of War, which is to master manufactured chaos, because an enemy who is always reacting to your action or is caught up in chaos is easier to manipulate because it's easier to move one piece at a time strategically than it is to try to move several pieces all at once. Someone who is constantly reacting to Amato takes his glasses off and begins to lay it on thick, knowing that Naruto is right there in the room, fresh off the trauma that came from seeing his firstborn son get killed in front of him, and the sad expression on Naruto's face when Amato starts giving this emotional reaction, it plays right into it. Amato was tugging on the heartstrings right at the moment that the conversation was getting intense, and it might have gone into a direction that he didn't have answers for, which means he couldn't continue to steer the conversation towards a calculated outcome that he had already predetermined. He's not above doing something like that. He has used in the past his daughter Akibi in order to get Naruto to view him as an equal through the lens of a father. Like for instance when he brought up I had a daughter but she died 12 years ago in order to get Naruto to give Boruto those Byakugan and he used Kawaki's own fears about Naruto to have him reawaken the clone. He's always been one step ahead of people, and the fact that he says that he doesn't know for certain how things will play out is always awesome. Not so much that I don't believe him, more so in the sense that given his track record, I am skeptical about it. Could he be telling the truth that he doesn't truly know if giving Delta Akibi will turn her into a suit because it's a promise. It is alien technology. It is absolutely possible. He did say that there was no precedent to this, but it's convenient that right after this trade, Amado manages to get the whole interrogation placed onto the back burner to pick up the next day, which conveniently gives him the entire night to go over the information gathered and reason to do accordingly. But after looking at home, he realized what Kawaki was saying without Kawaki saying it, which is that if he does get turned into an Otsuki, so Otsuki or not, Akabe would still be his daughter. Amado would still move to protect her. However, even if that's the case, it should be irrelevant situation is because he literally has a shutdown code inside of Kawaki that he could use if he ever thought the guy was going to be a threat to his daughter. What's interesting here is that in the last chapter, Amado says his daughter's DNA is inside Kawaki's trauma and that he's confirmed it when he looked over Kawaki's body. Yet, despite being armed with this information and being so desperate to have his daughter's soul placed in Delta's body, if you go back over the conversation with Boomerang, he made no mention of Delta possessing the coma skill, and it extracted data into Delta at all. In fact, just as we never saw Amado until chapter 5 of Vortex, it's important to note we haven't seen Delta even when we were shown the condo where Team 7 was staying in, and Misty and Kawaki were standing on the balcony. We saw no We had a whole invasion of Senko's farm lines inside the village, and Shikamaru ordered all capable fighters to help defend the village, which means Delta should have been out there as well. Shikamaru trusts in her power enough to deal with Code. Granted, Code still had his numbers on back then, but she was too good of an asset to not have good unless you somehow believe that Team 10 suddenly scales over Delta, which I get it, Borza has a ton of power creep, but let's be real, nobody thinks it's possible. I do believe that Delta is being cut out of the story for a reason. I do think that she and that whole Compass still getting placed onto her Chekhov's gun. And the same with Amado not revealing if Kawaki gave her the Compass skill or not during the time skip. There's something else to this. If he hadn't had it done in a whole 3 years, it makes you raise an eyebrow. Because look at how quickly Borza's Compass skill extracted without any drugs to slow down the process that Kawaki had for all those years. For all those years, he was least successful. It should have taken just under a year for the skill to extract like it did with Borza, where in under a year, he got up to 80% extraction, which given that it's been 3 whole years, Amado has had the opportunity for this to happen. He should have it done. So the question is, why hasn't it been shown or confirmed in passing to a state? It's a monthly manga, and even if this was weekly, I wouldn't expect this answer soon, but I personally can't shake the feeling that this is Chekhov's done, and that we're going to wait to see it go off, and it's going to be the source of a bigger plot twist in the future, because the story, if you look at it very closely, is perfectly burying what should be a red flag with immediate threats to grab your attention, and it has been doing so ever since Kawaki raised responsibility. Immediately after Kawaki then goes off and steals Naruto after he finds out Boruto and Momoshiki are communicating, and everyone went, oh my god, it's happening, the time skip is coming. And as a writer, you have to believe that Kishimoto knew exactly the type of response he was getting as a reader. Then Kawaki goes off and finds Boruto, further grabs the reader's attention. And more interesting things take place, and then we see the threat of the evolved Shinju after Ko's invasion in Konoha, and we get the flashback of Sasuke, and it's done to show with our emotions. Nobody is paying attention to Delta. Nobody is paying attention to the Compass skill getting placed on the body. It is an intentional choice. While I'm speaking in absolute, obviously I don't mean all. It's just a statement based off of a general. That should not have to be stated. There's probably a minority out there that have raised that question, but the general discourse I've seen online, a lot of people have not actually brought this up. And as a writer, it's the thing that you definitely want to do. Because you're subverting the expectations of readers, and when you do that, it allows you to circle back to something to pull a bigger plot to it. Based off of the spoilers that we have for chapter 6 of Vortex, we have all the in the next chapter. The Delta getting the promise to the story point is being hidden in plain sight, and I do wonder if the Amado hasn't come up with some kind of a contingency plan during the 3 years in the event that Kawaki's suspicion was correct. And Delta does become an Otsuki once she gets that promise skill. Amado has proven time and time again his loyalties, they lie to himself and they lie to his daughter. If it comes down to it, he is going to side with his daughter in the hopes that he can reverse the outcome if Kawaki is right, or as we saw with Naruto, this is a possibility. Even if she does become a Otsuki, he won't be able to choose anything except for his daughter, because emotion has logic when it comes to his moment, which in turn does make Minato's decision to give up his own life for Naruto that much more respectable, since Minato didn't have to die if he chose a path that Kushina suggested in Naruto Volume 53. I don't think we can count out Amado having had something else put into place. He's had access to Kawaki this entire time. because Kawaki's body would have needed maintenance before operating at these different levels. And as we saw with the Omnipotence, nobody batted an eye at the fact that Naruto's supposed son was now a cyborg. They just accepted it because that's how the Omnipotence works. So nobody would think twice that he's doing maintenance on Kawaki. If he was able to implant Karma onto Kawaki without realizing it before, you can believe he's done something else or something else with the second daughter if Kawaki's concern was valid. Because Amado has never been the type to keep all the eggs in the basket, which is what he would be doing if he relied solely on the shutdown. It's not a secret. Shikamaru knows about it. Amado knows that Ada knows about it, and due to her own desire to be loved by Kawaki, he's likely already factored in her telling Kawaki or her being willing to tell Kawaki when the time is right. So he would be smart enough to have another insurance policy. However, that's where I'm going to leave things off to you guys. Why do you think we haven't gotten an update on Delta with the Chroma Seal yet? In the meantime, click here to check out my Hunters and Solo Level and Explain video. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today I want to talk to you guys about something rather interesting following the release of the last manga chapter, which is Boruto returning to the village right now in this very moment while he's currently in the welcoming arms of Sarada and being watched under the ever so observant eyes of Sumire. Not everyone who is inside of Konoha is going to welcome back the prodigal son with loving arms and warm eyes like Sarada and Sumire did respectively. In particular, there's a certain member of Team 7 who plans to use his arms on Boruto for something a little more violent and excruciating once Sarada is done hugging him, which is everyone's favorite son and clone of Orochimaru, Mitsuki himself. That's why in today's Naruto Explain video, I want to talk to you guys about why Mitsuki is the one that we have to keep our eyes on now that Boruto appears to be back in Konoha for the long run. And Ninja War, and we saw these legendary shinobi who were brought back from the dead, a mixture of shinobi who we saw. So, what's going on, everybody? It's boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2. As Naruto fans, we all have our favorite costume members. I think we brought up on the ladder, the Boruto chapter, Boruto, the laser group.
You are still useful.
Switching max!
You are still useful.
One down.
Friendly Mosquito active. Enemy taking Bravo. Securing objective Charlie. Enemy securing Bravo. The enemy has captured 2 objectives. Yes, all objectives are under hostile control. Charlie secure immediately. Secure the field. Mission accomplished.
Securing objective Alpha. We are losing Charlie. We've secured all objectives, but the battle's not over. Enemy securing Charlie. The enemy took Charlie. Enemies taking Alpha. We're taking Charlie. We've lost Alpha. Securing objective Charlie. They're taking Alpha. Alpha. Enemies taking Bravo. We hold all objectives. Well done. Enemy UAV active. Objective Bravo is compromised. Get it back. Securing objective Bravo. We're losing Alpha. We're taking Bravo. Reloading. We're losing Charlie. Objective Charlie is compromised. Get it back. We're taking Charlie. Hostile UAV in the area. Securing objective Bravo. The enemy holds 2 objectives. Secure those positions. We're taking Bravo. Securing objective Bravo.